There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our virtual internship orientation 2021. And I'm pretty sure most of you who signed up for today's event are very excited to learn new things and at the same time prepare for your internships. By the way, my name is Lee Ugadan from the UMAK Corporate Communications Center, and I will be your host for today's event. And before we formally start the program, let me acknowledge all our participants today. I can see some comments in our Facebook Live today. I see some people saying present and representing their colleges. So let me just call on, we have participants from the College of Arts and Letters. Okay, and then we also have participants from the College of Business and Financial Science. And we have some participants or students from the College of Construction Sciences and Engineering, and from the College of Governance and Public Policy, College of Human Kinetics, and College of Science, and College of Technology Management, College of Tourism and Hospitality Management. So there you go. So many participants are excited to join our event today. I can see present and representing all their colleges in the comment section. And before we formally start the program, may I invite you to, of course, join us in a doxology and to be followed by the singing of the national anthem by the UMAK chorale, and lastly, the UMAK hymn.
Bayang magiliw, rela sa silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka lang magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bakaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislap ng wataw at mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw na kailang pag may pagdidilim, lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo, ang aming ligaya ng pangmay mga api, ang mga tay ng dahil sa'yo.
We cheer to the alma mater, University of Makati. Rejoice, we're here onward marching, be it shine, storm, cloud, or rain. Let all our voices be ringing for the glory of our alma mater, pride of Makati and of our fatherland. Beloved UMAK, proudly stand. Arise, thy sons and daughters, fill the air with the joy of alma mater. Let sound our gladness and tidings, every echo by far and near. Here to thee, our dear beloved UMAK, faithfully we raise our light and spirit. We're proud to be at thy command, future builders of this land. Arise, thy sons and daughters, fill the
So there you go. Again, welcome to our virtual internship orientation 2021. And of course, we would like to know more about what you think or what are your expectations for today's event. So maybe you can comment down on the live stream. What are your expectations for today's event? What maybe you can write it in one or two letters, or I mean, two words, two words to describe what are your expectations for today's event. So let me see and read some comments there. Type down all your expectations for today's event before we start the formally give you the welcoming message. Okay, can we see some comments? What are your expectations? Comment down. All I can see are present and then your name and your courses. Okay, there we have how the virtual OJT will work. Yes, that's a common question that you should ask right now because there's no face-to-face classes. So there would be no face-to-face orientation for now as the IATF recommends, right? So are there any more questions or expectations that we would like to know? To be updated about the new normal regarding OJT, yes, of course. Everything that you need to know more about your virtual OJT or internship will be discussed today. So if you have questions later on, you can ask our speakers so that it will help you with your internships. It will be easy for you to have your virtual internship program. And also expecting job opportunities, of course. After you graduate, you would like to expect what are the job opportunities that will be waiting for you, right? So OJT will be a preparation for that, and you would like to know how you could prepare yourselves to that opportunity out there. Okay. My expectation for today's event is to have clarification about OJT guidelines and procedures. So yeah, we'll hear more about that later from our speakers. To be prepared in real world and to know more about it. Yes, you will also have speakers from the industry itself, so they will inform you about how you can prepare yourselves once you are already there. To have an informative discussion on with regards to our internship. Yes, you will have Q&A later every after speakers. We'll have your question and answer portion. How to apply for OJTs and what to put on the applications. Yes, you will know more about how to access the forms and everything that you need for your OJT virtual orientation. So there. What else? Tips in the job interview. Of course, you will hear that as well. Maybe some of your questions will be answered by all of our speakers. And if your questions are not answered, we'll take note of it and then we will make sure on the next seminars that we will have, we'll make sure to answer them. Okay. But all of these expectations, we hope that we will be able to answer immediately. So let me see. Do we have more? Expectation of this orientation is know on how to work as a hospitality management in the new normal. Yes, because the industry itself is, it's not really that in demand anymore because no one or not a lot of people are going out or not permitted to go out. And so the industry is not that in demand anymore. Okay, what else? Proper presentation of person's brand for future job endeavor. Okay, yes. How you would dress up, how would you prepare yourself to be confident when you speak, when you talk to the interviewer, what are the words you should watch out for, or maybe during the orientation or the internship itself, how would you prefer? What are the things that you should watch out for, like your attendance, your performance? You will have more information on that, like what are the expectation of the employers when they're hiring OJTs or interns. especially right now that we are in a virtual situation like what we're doing right now. We have people commenting or sending down their comments, and we're doing the orientation live on Facebook and on YouTube. So it's a new normal. This is the new us right now. And when you go outside, you see people in masks and face shield. That's the new normal right now. And so I guess that's gonna be it for I don't know, since we have a vaccine already. Hopefully, when the vaccine is ready and everyone is ready to take in or have taken the vaccine, we can move back to the old normal, which is we can go out without masks. But I'm not sure if you'll be comfortable with that because it's just still not safe because there's still a virus going around. So there you go. So I guess you're so excited to know more because I can see a lot of comments flooding. Advantages of new normal job to all the students who wants to work today. Because I think most of the people who graduated from the previous batch are still unemployed because they weren't able to go outside and apply for jobs. And if they are able to go outside, they're not able to find the jobs that they prefer to have because the industry, like for example the hospitality management, is not in demand anymore because not a lot of people are going out. So these are the challenges that we face in the new normal. So well, we're all very excited that we have selected very, very good speakers to enlighten us on these expectations that you've posted on the comment section. So there, I know that you guys are excited to know more about that. So later on, make sure you get a pen and paper, write them down, and make sure to tick every comments or every notable information about your internship that you have to take before you start your internship. So good luck, and I hope you guys enjoy. And later on, we'll have shout outs on the comment section. We'll see if there are people who would like to apply for the internship immediately because of what's going on. So maybe we can proceed with the first speaker for today. Okay, so like you've mentioned, or like you've mentioned in the expectations earlier in the comment section, you would like to know more about how you're wondering how the UMAK or University of Makati's internship program would be, and the procedures and the guidelines and how you would take them. I would like to let's all welcome our next speaker, our first speaker actually for today's event, our UMAK CLCDP Director, Professor Cynthia Margareta Arjose. Let me just say, CLCDP Director is actually the host and in partnership with the Jobs180.com. Okay, so again, let's welcome our Director first, UMAK CLCDP, Professor Cynthia Margareta Arjose. Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hi, Miss Lee.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you for the introductions and welcome to the University of Makati graduating students. I was listening to your questions earlier, and I know that a lot of your questions were about OJT deployment in this time of COVID-19. I know it's very challenging, actually not just for you, but even for us, even for your teachers. Medyo naguluhan kami. CHED is trying to create some initial guidelines, but nothing kasi really is very specific. I guess the main reason for that is everything now is very free flowing. Everything is still very uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen next. But hopefully with my presentation, you'll be enlightened more. And you will be able to do your OJT, not ideal, not like what other students have been doing in the past. But hopefully, this is something that can be some kind of a compromise in this new normal. I will start sharing my screen now. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Oh, is it sharing? Di pa yata, no?
Not yet, ma'am. They have a lot of questions, actually, ma'am. Expectations on how they
Oo
would
nga
go
eh.
about their virtual internship. Yes. From the
Later,
comment section.
we shall be joined later by our VP for Academic Affairs. Meron lang po silang emergency meeting, and we're actually very fortunate that we have three members of the management committee who will be able to join our afternoon session. Aside from our VP for Academic Affairs, later our university secretary will share some research materials on the supervisor's comments of our previous OJTs. Of course, all those were done in the old normal. So just for you to get some feedback. And then, of course, much later, our VP for Student Affairs will be joining us. Is it sharing na ba? Pasensya na. Eh, ito yung mga challenges of the new normal.
Yes, ma'am. Technical,
Oo nga.
we have to learn.
Ayan. I think is it starting to share na ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Ito yata. Okay. Si-share na.
Yes, ma'am. So I will leave you with the updates. And I'm
Okay.
sure the students are already ready with their pen and paper to take note of the information that you will be sharing with them. Thank you, ma'am. See you
Thank
later.
you, Leslie. Okay, so finally we have our presentation up. Tama? Okay. Okay, so the title of my presentation is UMAK Internship Updates. This is specific to the second semester of this school year, and I guess it will run indefinitely until we know for certain what's up and what hopefully by that time CHED will have specific guidelines. But just to give you an outline of my presentation, I will give you some background information. And then from that background information, we'll look at alternative modalities because as you all know, bawal pa ang any kind of face-to-face classes, including OJT. And then because we can do naman alternative modalities, yung dating gawin natin ng mga deployment procedures will also have to be adjusted. Now, the last part of the UMAK updates will actually not come from me, but from our university secretary, Engineer Duke Ivan B. Moro. Prior to becoming our university secretary, he was the head of the Knowledge Management Center. And so they gathered together comments of supervisors on OJT performance for the last 2 school years. So that was from, I believe, academic year 2018 to 2019, and also prior to the year before, 2017 to 2018. Of course, all those supervisor comments were done pre-COVID, but let's see, that's the challenge, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of UMAK OJTs prior to you, then let's see how you will address those comments in the time of COVID-19. So that's it. That's my outline. So let's proceed. Medyo mahaba tong presentation ko, but I hope all of you will be enlightened. Okay, let's go to the background. Now, I want to start with the background on internship. I guess you have all your ideas, conceptions on what internship is. I'm sure even your OJT teachers must have discussed what internship is. But let's go to the CHED definition of terms, or the Commission on Higher Education. There is actually, for those of you who may not know, there's actually a CHED memorandum order or a CMO on the student internship program in the Philippines. It has been revised through the years, but this latest one was issued in December 28, 2017. So let's look at the definition of internship. I'm going to this definition on this background from CMO para later on, kasi nga we all know na we can't do the traditional internship anymore. Both you and your teacher will try to see ano bang pwedeng gawing alternative, knowing that this is what is expected of internship. So let's look at the definition of internship. Internship refers to the practical application of classroom learning to to the actual in a regular work environment, such as but not limited to commercial and industrial services, government and non-government agencies. It's also synonymous to practicum, field practice, or OJT. So this is not the same as apprenticeship or learnership because there's a separate Republic Act for that. Normally, apprenticeship is used for law students and for those in the medical and allied health. But in general, all the other programs, all the other college programs, you call your internship either internship or practicum, field practice, or OJT. So by the definition, so what is it? So it's the practice of all the theories that you learned in the classroom, but this time you go to a regular work environment. So there are examples there, but based on the CMO, it's not limited to commercial and industrial services, government. So those are just some examples. So that's the definition. What's the guiding principle? It says also in the CMO that internship is meant to provide students with an opportunity to complement their formal learning with practical, ayan, nandiyan na naman yung practical knowledge, skills, and desirable attitude, and gain hands-on experience in a recognized post-training establishment. So from the principles here, you see na i-apply mo, pero ideally, dapat meron kang ginagawa mo, ina-apply mo yung mga knowledge mo sa isang host training establishment or HTE. So hopefully that's something you will pick up, learn from this presentation of mine. So HTE or host training establishment. In other words, yan yung mga dating gawe, yan yung mga kumpanya or organization or groups na pinapasukan ng mga estudyante pag nag-OJT sila. We just use a more generic term applicable to whatever organization. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng mga pinag-OJT-han ng mga estudyante, hindi naman lahat company or corporations. Some are government agencies, some are NGO. So the more generic term to use is host training establishment. So yan, the idea of practicing what you have learned in a recognized host training establishment, recognized by the school, that's what it means. Ano yung objective? For the HEI, we want to enrich the programs and respond to the needs of the industry. And then again, itong second bullet po natin dyan, supportive industry-academe collaboration linkages. So again, very important, the idea of having industry partners. That's why UMAK through our office and through your colleges have been through the years. Panahon pa yan ni Professor Lopez for about 20 years. We've been actively looking for partners para meron po tayong mga partners na pwedeng pasukan ng mga estudyante for their OJT or practicum. So again, OJT is synonymous with internship and practicum. So baka nagtataka, ma'am, ano ba yung kaibahan? It's all the same. So I could probably mix around the terms, but I mean OJT, internship, or practicum. Okay, so that's the CMO. I don't wanna expand this further. So everyone was doing internship all through the years. Everyone was happy going to companies, and students were happy. They learned, the teachers were happy. Pero what happened last year, totally unexpected, COVID-19 pandemic happened. And we were all totally unprepared for it. And what was the first to be affected, or one of the most crucial industries or sectors to be affected, was the education industry. CHED naman responded right away. So what happened? So this is just to refresh everyone's memory. CHED actually issued a series of, they call it COVID-19 advisory. So they entitle it Guidelines for the Prevention, Control, and Mitigation of the Spread of COVID-19 in HEI. So they issued a series of COVID-19 from February up to May of last year. So the first one was really warning kasi by that time nagbi-build up na, people were natatakot na yung mga tao, and then slowly may mga namamatay na, dumadami na yung cases. But finally, in March 11, President Duterte suspended all classes. And this was actually announced through COVID Advisory number 2. So this was in March 11, 2020. So all classes were suspended. And of course, CHED obviously implemented advice, mandated that to all the HEIs. So all classes were suspended in all levels, including OJT, internship, or practicum. And then so we were advised to coordinate with the HTEs and to adjust the training hours, consider alternative modalities for OJT. So it says here hanggang March 14. Pero of course, at the beginning, people were optimistic. So in March 11, facilitate alternative activities. So yung nangyari dun sa mga nag-OJT last year, o sige, anyway, wag ka na pumasok, bawal na yan. So the teachers just gave the students alternative activities para lang matapos yung practicum nila, or they adjusted, o sige, bawasan na, imbis na 500, okay na yan, 400. And then even those students scheduled to leave abroad, sinuspindi na. No one is allowed to go abroad and negotiate with their partner institutions to adjust their program. So this was in March 14. And then March 17, COVID, so nakatatlong advisory na yan, 2, 3, and 4. By March 17, COVID advisory number 5 was issued, and then inextend pa rin yung suspension of classes and OJT until April 14. And then next, April 13, sinuspend, tuloy-tuloy pa rin hanggang April 30. And then finally, in May 24, sinabi all OJT internships are suspended until the community quarantine from ECQ to MGCQ has been lifted. So in other words, bawal. As long as may community quarantine, bawal mag-OJT. Also in their advisory last year, they said that HEIs in modified GCQ areas, pwede daw mag-in-campus training, pero kailangan strict compliance with physical distancing and other health protocols. Towards the end of the advisory, they said that the HEIs, the schools were reminded to refer and continue to observe the stipulations in the previously issued advisories numbers 1 to 6. Kasi may mga I'm really just quoting here the stipulations that refer to OJT, pero medyo 2 or 3 pages yung mga advisories which cover not just OJT but all other sectors. And then yung mga HEIs were being encouraged na alternative modalities, mag-online klase kayo. And so that was actually what happened last year. And so the last COVID advisory, CHED COVID advisory, was back in May 24. And then ang sabi ng CHED, suspended ang OJT until ECQ, MECQ, GCQ, and MGCQ has been lifted. So I always refer back to this last COVID advisory because from May 24 until today, ito pa rin yung COVID advisory. So siguro nagtataka kayo, bakit yung UMAK walang Also because up to now, this is still the COVID advisory that we are hanging on OJT. After this, wala talagang, well, meron, but not for OJT per se. So anyway, so that was in May 24. Suspended ang OJT until community quarantine is lifted, including foreign OJT. Also, 2 months after, all student internship abroad. So ito, I guess this is applicable for tourism, hospitality management students, all those OJT abroad, even some medical and allied health. They also sometimes send their students abroad for internships. So temporarily suspended for this school year, academic year 2020 to 2021. Pero it also says here that the temporary suspension does not cover maritime education because maritime is covered not by CHED but by Marina. So that's a different body from CHED altogether. Okay, so what did UMAK do? So for the second semester, our office issued a memo. So lahat po ng mga OJT was suspended for the second semester. And then so just taking our cue from the CMO from the advisory of CHED, the students were allowed to render their training hours within the semester without reporting to their outside training workplace, and an option to just adjust the total number of training hours. And then what happened was, in the past, sa totoo lang, yung mga estudyante would come to our office one by one and ask for, after they have completed their OJT, they have requirements to submit, and then they will submit the documents and we will issue them a clearance one by one. But because hindi na yan pwede, bawal na yung mga estudyanteng pumunta sa school, we just did a collective clearance. We were also mandated to practice maximum leniency. So collective clearance, kahit na hindi masyadong kompleto yung requirements, sige, i-go na yan para mabigyan ng clearance yung mga estudyante collectively by college and para makagraduate. Kasi we also want the students to graduate. Hindi naman nila kasalanan na hindi nila natapos yung kanilang OJT. So that was what happened during the second semester. Okay. Ngayon, of course, summer break came and we were hoping, okay, hopefully things will be better. So hindi pa rin, ganun pa rin. Naka-GCQ pa rin tayo or MGCQ, or in fact, MECQ at the beginning. So what our office did, we had to adjust to the new normal na nagkaroon kami bigla ng Facebook page. And then, although these forms naman, yung aming letter, information sheet, and waiver, all these naman were really downloadable even in the past, but we really promoted this now more aggressively. Kasi during the first sem, meron na talagang mga nag-OJT, not as many as this semester, pero there are a few colleges who already need to deploy students. But again, wala namang updated advisory si CHED, except yun na nga, suspended daw ang OJT. But at the same time, CHED also is not naman saying na, okay, pwede na kayong graduate na walang OJT. They're not saying that. So it's not actually OJT per se that they want to suspend, but the idea of when you go on OJT, syempre physical yon, pagre-report ka doon, yon ang bawal. So we have to read between the lines. It's not OJT or practicum that CHED is against, but it's the idea of reporting for work physically when you have your HTI. So that's a challenge. So first semester, may mga schools na, may mga colleges na nag-OJT. So we already aggressively announced na available. We had a Facebook page so that the students, we can announce our whatever important announcement need to be reached, to be sent to the students taking OJT. We aggressively promoted the forms. And then, beginning last semester, nag-start na kami nung electronic filling out of documents. So everything done online via email. And so we made all these announcements on Facebook. So these were the 3 forms needed. And then so everything had to be emailed to us. So we tried our best to do this, pero sa totoo lang, medyo nahirapan kami, medyo magulo. It's not perfect, but we tried to do it last semester. Okay. Ano ba yun? Hindi pa. Okay. All right. So that's my background. Medyo mahaba. Ewan ko lang kung may questions kayo, but let's move on muna dun sa, so that's the background, just so everyone is in the know. Kasi baka hindi nyo alam, ano ba to? Bakit ba ang gulo-gulo naman? Kasi that's what happened. Ayun yung nangyari, series of advisories, and UMAK can only take its cue from what the government says, from what IATF says, from what CHED, mandates us to do. So hindi masyadong clear, so we just have to adjust and see how best it can help. Okay, so that was first semester. So, and then in fact, CHED was saying during the first semester, sige, yung mga mag-OJT, mag-lecture muna kayo, lahat ng pwede nyong i-lecture, saka na kayo mag-deploy ng students for the second semester. Again, being very optimistic, but it's second semester, and it's still the same. Nobody can still go to UMAK. So we take our cue from that. Nobody can go to UMAK for school. So similarly, bawal ang face-to-face OJT. So okay, let's go to second semester. Now, okay, may mga diniscuss na alternative modalities with the different colleges, with the deans and the department heads. So let me just show you. I just want to be transparent, So where is this coming from? Yung mga suggestions namin. Okay, I showed you earlier yung CMO, yung CHED Memorandum Order, revised guidelines for student internship program back in 2017. So we looked at the definition of internship. We looked at the guiding principles. So it says there, dapat i-apply mo yung mga natutunan mo sa school, you apply it in the workplace, and ideally, dapat merong HTE. All right. So we also looked at the CHED advisories 2 to 7, where they say consider alternative modalities. Bawal ang student internship abroad. Foreign and local internships still suspended during community quarantine. But pag nag-MGCQ na, possibly in-campus training can be authorized, pero dapat strict compliance to health protocols. So those were actually what was stipulated. This is our basis for our alternative modalities. Also, they said temporary suspension of student internship abroad. So this is very clear. This is the only thing that's clear. Bawal ang student internship abroad for this school year. We also benchmark with other HEIs, with other universities like Benilde, University of the Philippines. Ano bang ginagawa nyo? Because they are in the same dilemma as us. Hindi naman suspended ang OJT, pero this semester in particular, we have graduating students who require units, who require hours in OJT to graduate, because if not, they won't graduate. So we benchmark, you ask them, what are you doing? So anyway, later I'll show you kung ano yung mga nag-gather namin. And then the other thing that we tried to do is we tried to reach out directly to CHED. Meron na bang panibagong guidelines? So we made kulit. And then sabi nila, finally, they wrote to us in January 15, just last month. There's still no new directive. And then they reiterated that CHED COVID-19 Advisory number 7, yung pinakita ko sa inyo earlier, that still remains in place. It continues to be in place. That foreign and local internship suspension during community quarantine is still suspended. ICT can be authorized in MGCQ areas provided there is strict compliance. But they also said that they are crafting new guidelines affecting the internship program. They will inform us. As to when this will be, we don't know. Now, the other basis for our alternative modalities are last September, nag-issue ang CHED ng CHED Memorandum Order. But this one is more on implementation of flexible learning. So this is actually what you are doing now in your regular classes. What happened as a result of this, UMAK now has a learning management system, and we have made quite a lot of adjustment in your other courses other than OJT. And the whole idea is flexible learning. It should be learner-centered. That's the whole idea of flexible learning. They mentioned actually including OJT and practicum as part of your plan for flexible learning. But again, nothing specific. So based on this, we had a discussion with your college deans, and we came up with some recommendations. Now, I call these recommendations because our office can only recommend. Even CHED nga, si Chairman De Vera of CHED said that ayaw namin mag-dictate sa mga kolehiyo, sa mga colleges, because sila ang mas nakakaalam kung ano ang pwedeng gawing alternative modality for their students. So similarly, kami rin, I'm just one of the directors here. I just happen to handle linkages and OJT. So we recommended these alternative modalities to the college. Now, I want to emphasize recommended kasi baka mamaya sabihin nyo, ay sabi ni Ma'am Cynthia, pwede daw to. Tapos makikipag-argue kayo sa mga dean nyo or sa mga teachers nyo na pinanood ko. So these are our recommendations. The ultimate decision on what alternative modality you can do in place of regular OJT that you are deployed physically, face-to-face, the ultimate decision on what you can do, kung sino ang mag-approve, that is not my office, that will be your college deans. So, kasi may mga nagtatanong sa amin, ma'am, pwede ba namin itong gawin? So, we can only give suggestions, recommendations, but ang mag-approve ng alternative modality nyo ay yung kolehiyo nyo. So, yung teacher nyo, yung OJT coordinator nyo, yung dean, basta yung kolehiyo, hindi kami. We can only recommend. And so these were some of our recommendations. Maybe may iba pang mga naiisip yung mga colleges nyo, but these are some. Oh, by the way, ang hindi ko pala nasama doon, I forgot that some of the recommendations here are something that has been done already by the colleges last semester in place of regular OJT. So, these are our recommendations for full credit hours. Kasi, di ba, meron kayo 500, 600, 400, kanya-kanya. So, what we recommend, itong naka-highlight dito, this is the most ideal one. Kung makahanap kayo ng HTE where you can be deployed virtually, home-based, online, an industry partner na aligned with your course or with your program, or pwede rin an expert, or pwedeng an academic or community partner, pwede rin within the college, let's say, a center or an office, or other City of Makati offices. If you can be deployed virtually, then that is actually, that is actually most ideal. Of course, off-site lang, no face-to-face. So, naka-highlight to kasi ito yung pinaka-ideal. If you are able to find an outside HTE that can deploy you as an intern, then that's perfect. Okay. Second, I put here current. So for example, working student. So this is a common question. Ma'am, pwede ba ako, working student ako, pwede ba siyang i-apply as my OJT? I think kung kami, tatanungin mo, pag current at saka nasa aligned industry, yes, this may be applied. We recommend it to your colleges to apply this as OJT with your employer, your current employer, as your HTE. On-site obviously is allowed kasi siguro kung nagtatrabaho na kayo, siguro pumapasok kayo, but we should make sure that your employer follows strict health protocols. Obviously, pwede siyang off-site. And then secondly, dapat may consent yung employer nyo. Hindi pwedeng ginagamit mo pala siya ng OJT and then your boss doesn't even know. So they should have a written consent. And then how do we get the written consent? Through the recommendation letter. Kasi may conforme doon yung boss nyo. So dapat alam nila na at saka dapat pumayag sila na ginagamit nyo yung pinagtatrabahuan nyo as your OJT. Kasi mamaya kumukuha kayo ng pictures, isasabihin nyo sa teacher nyo, hindi nila alam. Or what if biglang mag-monitor yung teacher nyo? Tapos, ba't dito yung yung teacher nyo? So they should know, hindi siya pwedeng secret from your employer. So obviously pwede ang current place where you work, company where you work, aligned with the industry, but they should follow strict health protocols and they should have the consent of your employer. So these are other suggestions. Relevant research undertaking, completed or published. So any comprehensive research work. Pwede rin naman siyang a project, an activity, a peer training, management, and implementation. I know they do this for psychology students, module development for CCS. So an activity, a business plan, a project plan that you completed, these are actually suggestions that can be credited for full credit hours. May mga lumalapit sa inyo na mga teachers nyo, mga OJT coordinators na tinatanong ako, ma'am, sa tingin mo, and I think they're actually also getting some ideas from this checklist. So I think doable naman kasi they will decide kasi they are the ones who know your curriculum. They know what is expected of you na dapat these are skills that you learn when you graduate. So silang nakakaalam. And then let's say you do a program proposal, a business plan, a case study, or a policy paper writing. These are for CGPP students. Then I think depending on ganong katindi siya, they can be given full credit hours. So yeah, these are the alternative modalities for full credit hours. Okay, now let's look now, kasi meron din, just another thing pala. So as you can see, itong naka-highlight, this is actually the priority. Meron tayong mga alternatives. Also, the other thing I wanted to say, kasi we all know na hindi naman ganun kabilis makahanap ng virtual internship, di ba? Alam ko, not all companies agree to that. So that's why we have alternative here. Para dun sa mga estudyante na nag-effort pero wala talagang mahanap, so we have alternatives. So I believe we can recommend that the above undertakings can be given full credit hours. Now, let's go to the partial credit hours. What is critical here is dapat ito mga alternative activities nyo, dapat may certificate. So if you see here, participation, tsaka of course, dapat college endorsed siya, approved by your teachers, by your coordinators. College endorsed external online webinar with certificate. Pwede rin siyang internal. Let's say the organizer is the school, pwede rin yan. Pero dapat may certificate. Let's say nag-enroll kayo sa isang online certification program like TESDA, or for CCS students, I know there are certification programs for Microsoft. So, pwede din yon i-consider for partial credit hours. Let's say you presented the paper or you did a lecture na may certificate kayo. I think pwede siyang partial credit hours. For CBFS students, sinuggest sa akin ni Dean Balmeo, if you have proof of active membership to a professional organization aligned in your industry, pwede siya. Now, this last part, this is current employment. Let's say you are a working student pero hindi related yung industry mo dun sa program that you are taking. I believe baka pwede pa rin siya pero partial credit hours. So this is a checklist that we gave to your teachers, to your deans. And this is something they consider. But again, let me just emphasize, the ultimate decision, the ultimate call, kung ano yung pwedeng maging full or partial lies on your teachers. Now, other guidelines, things to remember. Kasi marami nagtatanong, ma'am, pwede ba? Kasi nag-i-insist sila, kailangan mag-report for work. Sorry, but no. No face-to-face internship for the time being. So this is non-negotiable. Kung gusto mong mag-intern doon, bahala ka, but we will not take responsibility for it. And even those mga companies who insist that you go there for internship, hindi lang naman kasi kami ang pwedeng kasuhan. Pati sila, pag nalaman ng CHED na tumatanggap sila ng intern na face-to-face, pwede silang kasuhan ng IATF or whoever, could file a case for them. So, non-negotiable, no face-to-face internship for the time being unless yung current employment mo is being credited as internship. And of course, the current employer observes strict DOH and IATF health protocols for on-site tasks. Pwede rin mixed modality. So what do I mean by this? Kasi lalo na for those to be granted partial credit hours. So pwedeng mag-webinar ka, so you have 300 hours there, yung yung membership mo, so pwedeng mag-combine para mo mabuo yung required hours. And then another guideline, obviously, student internship abroad is not allowed. So these are the suggestions. Okay, I'm gonna move on Okay, kasi this is another crucial, siguro yung questions later na lang. I just wanna finish my presentation. Deployment procedures, kasi alam ko maraming nagtatanong. Okay, so let's go to this. So actually, alam nyo, yung deployment, wala naman siyang pinagbago ngayon. At least mainly pinagbago yung steps na gagawin nyo from before COVID and now during COVID time. So meron kang mga requirements before you get deployed. Meron kang the actual deployment and the post-deployment. So let's look at it. Kailangan ka pa rin maghanap ng trabaho. Even if, let's say, hindi actual work ang mahahanap mo, whatever activity, hanapan mo, let's say, virtual, maghanap ka ng company who will accept you as an intern virtually. So yun of course will be your first priority. Kung wala ka namang mahanap, then you still have to look for it. So you still have to look for that, ask for referrals. Second, kailangan pa rin mag-attend ng internship orientation. So before it was mass orientation, now we're doing it virtual. Last semester, hindi po kami nakagawa, unfortunately, kasi honestly, pati kami naguguluhan kung pwede na ba or hindi. But now, okay, we're given the go signal, we're doing this intern. So everyone still has to attend. Kahit yung internship mo, hindi ka makahanap ng company or ng HTE, mag-attend ka pa rin, importante pa rin. Because you still have to learn all these things. Itong how to be deployed, di ba? You still have to listen to the speakers. Kasi itatrabaho pa rin naman kayo, di ba? Whether or not you are able to be deployed this semester in a traditional internship program. And then of course, kung ano man yung internship mo, yung company mo, yung modality mo, you have to have this approved. by your teacher, your coordinator, or your dean. And then you have to submit requirements. So that's for the later I will go a bit more details. And then of course, during the deployment, ayan, so you still have to do it and you still have to be monitored. Kahit na seminar siya, kahit na kung ano man yung alternative, you still have to be monitored by your OJT teacher. And then post-deployment, you still have to be assessed. There are still some documents to be submitted. Mas konti, of course, pag wala kang HTE. And then we still have to issue you a clearance. Kasi no orientation certificate so pag hindi kayo nag-orientation, hindi namin kayo mabibigyan ng certificate, wala kayong clearance. And clearance is a requirement for your exit when you graduate. Now, the only difference is now everything has to be done online. That's the challenge for all of us. Everything needs to be done online. Everything will have to be done collectively. So we are actually really pleading to your college internship coordinator to help us out. And I am very glad naman that all the colleges agreed that all the submission of requirements will have to be done through them para hindi magulo. That's one. Secondly, para siguradong estudyante kayo. Kasi before, dati it's easy. You come here, yung estudyante pumupunta, dadala-dala yung COR. Ngayon, what's our basis? Yung class list, minsan hindi pa siya complete. So we are assuming, of course, na pag in-endorse kayo ng teacher nyo, for sure enrolled kayo. So the same steps pa rin siya. The difference is everything has to be done online, everything done collectively through your college or internship coordinator or instructor. Okay. Okay, now I'll try to put some details. Alam ko kung matagal na pa. Okay, host training. I'll have to do this a bit more quickly. I can give you naman a copy of my. Okay, so pag may host training establishment ka, pre-deployment. So as what I said. Okay. So what do you need to do? How do you look for a job? Look at the job portals like Jobs 180, obviously. Magaling sila. So go to Jobs 180. Meron po tayong mga announcement dito for internship and jobs. Referrals from your classmates and friends. So I'm sure you have all of that. Also through your college. Kasi yung college nyo, baka may mga partners na siya kung saan nag-OJT yung mga dating graduates. Then you can ask referrals from them. Now, for our office, we actually have a directory of active partners, which you can find in our website. Ito po siya. I'm not sure if I have time to go. Do I still have time? Anyway, I suggest wag na lang. Go to it na lang on your own. Go to our website. We have a list there of our active. This is the link. Go to, ayan. Picturean nyo na lang to. Go to our link. We have a list of active partners for both internships and the like. So may phone numbers doon of our partners, email address. You can try contacting them and ask if they accept internship. Nakalagay din doon kung ano yung partner college nila. At nakalagay kung internship or others. But let's say hindi naman yung partnership natin with them is not naman for internship, then that's fine. Kasi malay mo baka ngayon tumatanggap na sila. We also have constantly, we're announcing on our Facebook page. So please like our Facebook page. Ayan, si Miss Erica. And also, we announce jobs, job openings, job announcements, even internship. And then, of course, ito pong, we also pala have group recruitment through our industry partners. So sometimes the industry partners contact my office directly. And then we set meetings. And then may mga partners kami who get interns collectively. So that's well and good. That's fortunate. But so that means mababawasan ng problema yung mga teachers in looking for OJT partners. And then of course, by attending this virtual internship, then you will be able to link up yung mga speakers po natin later. You will be able to link up with them. And because I think some of them are accepting OJT. So malay mo, they will provide their contact numbers later and they could actually get you later. So once again, attend the orientation because you won't get a certificate and no clearance. Okay, next. So that's for pre-deployment. So Okay, whatever HTE you have, make sure itong steps na to pagka may host training establishment. Whatever HTE you select, dapat approve siya by your college internship coordinator or instructor. Now, these are the requirements needed, which you can download from the website. The letter, the waiver, and the personal information sheet. So I think some of you have already downloaded, so they may be familiar. Let's see later, kung may oras, I can flash to you the forms. Itong memorandum of agreement, not all HTEs require this. But if you need one, we have a template. We can make it available. Just email us and you can request for our memorandum of agreement. Okay, so everything will have to be done electronically. What this slide is simply saying is accomplish all the forms, accomplish what you need to accomplish, your signature, your parent's signature, affix your photo, and email everything to your internship coordinator. So what your coordinator or teacher will do is to validate them, and then pag okay na, ibibigay sa amin per class or per section. And then once it's okay to us, we will also affix our signature, return it to your college, and then pagka okay na siya, your college will also sign electronically and then submit it to the HTE with a copy to me, to CLCDP, and also hopefully a copy to you as well. Okay, so ayan po yon. So as you can see, it should be initiated by you. So the student reach out to your college coordinator. The coordinator will go to us, CLCDP. We will get back to the college, and then pag okay na yung mga papeles nyo, isasubmit na sa HTE nyo and to us. Okay. Now, let's go to the deployment. So, itong part na to, you don't need to submit documents, but just so you know, once your HTE emails the final recommendation or endorsement letter completely signed by your supervisor with their conforme, so importante to, dapat to may conforme. Okay, in connection with this, may tanong pala, what if, for example, you are using your current employer as your OJT? Kailangan pa ba akong magpa-submit ng recommendation letter? Pwede bang certificate of employment na lang? Actually, hindi. Kailangan pa rin may recommendation letter from your supervisor para alam nila formally that you are using your current employment as your OJT. Kasi anyone can get a certificate of employment from HR eh. Eh, what if hindi mo pala sinabi sa boss mo, tapos magtataka yung boss mo, oh, bakit pumunta dito yung teacher mo? Bakit tumatawag dito yung school mo? So it has to be formal. We need to endorse you formally to the HTE kahit na current employer mo siya. Okay. So, once we get the conforme of your HTE, that will formally mark the commencement of your internship. Okay, so after that, once your college gets the conforme, they will email a copy of the completely signed letter to us and also to you, the students, para meron kang record na, okay, tanggap ako officially by this company. And then the intern emails a weekly status report, discuss any issues or concerns with their college coordinator or with their instructor. Now, if needed, if there are any issues or concerns, your college coordinator can, of course, schedule a video conference with your HTE supervisor. And then, of course, you can always join in as needed. So that's for deployment. Okay, next. Okay, let me just summarize. So the HTE will initiate it, contact the college and the student. The student starts the internship, and then, ayun na po, and then the student reaches out to the college kung may concerns, and then the college will set a meeting with the HTE and with our office if needed. So that's part of the monitoring. Now, last part, post-deployment. So ito na naman, kailangan po ditong mag-submit ng mga documents. But of course, before you submit the documents, we have to assess first yung performance, everything, if you have already finished your OJT hours before documents are submitted. And then after which we will issue the clearance. So once again, similar with the pre-deployment requirements, everything will have to be coursed online and collectively through the college or internship coordinator and instructor. So what do you do first? Rating sheet. Pag tapos ka na, completed na yung hours mo, your request for a rating sheet either from the college, because a lot of the colleges have a form. Pero kung wala naman form yung college, you can also request from us by emailing us. This is our email address. So have your rating sheet filled out and electronically signed by your supervisor. And then we also need your certificate of completion or participation from your HTE. Again, electronically signed by your boss, and indicate the inclusive dates of training and total hours completed. And last but not the least, this is only required for graduating students undergoing their last training. You can download the form from our website, as you can see here. It must be electronically signed by the students. The college internship coordinator collects all these documents and emails them to CLCDP, ideally by batch. So this is our email address. So we will review, revalidate all the forms, keeps them on record file, all the fully accomplished forms. And once we do this, we now prepare your clearance certificate collectively. So we will not do it one by one anymore. We will do it by class, by section, by batch, depende sa pag-submit sa amin. We email this back to your college instructor or coordinator, and then the college coordinator will provide a copy for you because you need your clearance as part of your exit clearance for graduation. So for post-deployment, I'm trying to summarize it just in case may mga mabilis. So assessment, you will first be assessed, submit your documents, and then once it's complete, we will issue the clearance. So again, remember, if you're in this orientation, then good, you've taken the first step. So we will give you a certificate of participation, and then you can have your clearance. So again, everything will be coursed through the students. Now, what I am trying to emphasize here is the submission of documents must be initiated by you. Submit to the HTE. The HTE will reach out to the college. The college will go back to us, and then we revalidate it, and then revalidate it, confirm, submit your clearance to your college, and your college will give your clearance to you. Okay, so ito naman, host training establishment. Actually, it's almost the same. Diyan pa rin, meron pa rin kayong steps. The only difference is you will have to do your job hunting, you will have to do your virtual orientation. Kung whatever your modality is, has to be approved by your teacher. You will have to submit documents, pero yung PIS na lang, yung personal information sheet na lang. And when you are deployed, you will still have to be monitored by your teachers. After your deployment, kung ano man yon, let's say you attended a webinar, you conducted a lecture, you did a paper or whatever, you will still have to be assessed. You will have to submit document requirements. Certification, now let's say wala kang host, wala kang organizer, the certificate can be done by your teacher. The evaluation also, you sign the evaluation and then your teacher can sign. Kasi usually ito is signed by your supervisor pag meron kang HTE. But if not, your teacher can sign this. And that's the time we issue your clearance. Again, I'm emphasizing all your kasi may mga tanong, ma'am, paano namin makukuha yung pirma ng CLCDP director? Submit it, that your OJT coordinator or your teacher will take care of it. Just make sure you have done your part. Fill out the forms, please. Yung recommendation letter pala, very important. Wag na yung teacher niyo mag-fill out ng mga pangalan niyo, nung magiging boss niyo. Please fill it out to facilitate things for your teacher. But after you're done, you've done your part, you submit it all to them. Okay, so yan po. Student initiates it to the college, CLCDP, college student, and then eventually back to the student. Okay, now this is the last part of my presentation. Just so it's all clear to you, this is the summary of documents that you need for submission. Okay, pre-deployment, the recommendation letter. So where will you get the form? CLCDP. How will you get that? Download it from our website. So there you go. So I don't think I have time to open the site and show you the form. It's self-explanatory. Just fill out everything. Fill out all the blanks. Please don't leave any blanks there. Follow the instructions. Make sure you sign as needed. So, para saan ba to, ma'am? This is required by the HTE. We need to formally endorse you to your host training establishment para everything is formal, everything is legal. So this is required. So ito po, only those with HTE need this. Pag wala kang HTE, then you don't need it. Agreement and liability waiver. Again, where will you get it? From us. So where from? Download it from our website. So that's our site. So this is usually required by HTEs. Why? Kasi, di ba, nakita nyo, I flashed earlier that some HTEs require a memorandum of agreement. Most of the HTEs hindi kailangan. So in the absence of the MOA, ang nangyayari yung waiver. So waiver will protect you, will protect the HTE, will protect the school. So this is required. So again, only for those with HTE. All right, pre-deployment, personal information sheet. The form is available from the UMAK website, downloadable. What is this used for? So the data and stats, we use it for our quarterly report, for planning and review so that we can improve the program further. We also use it for accreditation for the school. So this is actually very important. So it is also for your own good. Kasi at least nare-recognize tayo ng mga accrediting bodies. And this is also an area for us so that we can improve the program further. So the PIS, whether or not you have an HTE or not, that is required from the students. MOA, as I mentioned earlier, only if the HTE or the colleges require it. So email us if you want a copy of the form. But the processing of the MOA will have to be coursed through your college. Kasi ang signatory nitong MOA is Mayor Abby, your dean, and the VPAA. So we have to course this through your college. So this is not actually required, but if you look at the CMO for student internship, it's actually there. It's stipulated there. So obviously the MOA is only for those with HTE. Rating sheet. So again, if your colleges don't have a form, so normally the colleges have their own form, but if not, you can request the standard form from us by emailing us. So this is required by the colleges. It's there in the CMO. It's implied there. And we also use this for stats to review the program, see where we can improve. We also use it for accreditation. So this is only required for students with HTE. Okay, malapit na. Certificate of completion or attendance. So whether or not may HTE kakailangan to. Kasi remember, I emphasized there yung mga webinar, yung mga certification program, kung nag-present ka ng paper, nag-lecture ka, or even let's say may activity ka na ginawa na endorsed by the school, kailangan ng certificate. Request for the certificate from your teacher or from your dean. So the source is the HTE, the training group, or the college. So this is usually required by the colleges, and this is actually in the CMO for student internship. Now, last but not the least, the internship evaluation. So the form is downloadable from our site. Again, this is only prepared if you are a graduating student and you are undergoing your last training. But if not, you don't need to do this. So it is there. This is stipulated in the CMO. So this is required. And the data and stats we use for our reporting, planning review, accreditation with HTE and no HTE. So whether or not may HTE ka, okay. Required siya. So that's it. So may time ba, Erica, for QA? Or may questions ba? Marami. Ma'am Lee, do we have time ba for for Q&A or...
May mga konti lang tayong babasahin from the...
Ay, sige, sure. If you can read it na lang for me, Miss Lee.
Yes po. We have, what is now the strategic plan? Actually, ma'am, most of the questions were really already answered kanina dun sa discussion nyo while I was listening, Pero i-mention ko na lang din po just in case.
Yes, please.
What is now the strategic plan of UMAK Center for Linkages to help students, provided that these students will be able to comply with this program or for the internship?
So we have alternative modalities, as what we said there. Basta bawal ang face-to-face. So we have, obviously, the most ideal is if you can find a company or an HTE that will allow you to do a virtual internship. Parang intern ka, except you're there. It's remote. That's right, exactly. At saka, alam nyo, you don't feel so bad. Ay, kawawa naman kami, ang malas namin. We were not able to experience how it is to be in the real world. But the reality is, because of COVID-19, a lot of the work is now being done. Like ako, ayan, si Miss Lee, naka-work from home yan. Jobs 180, di ba? The reality is, work from home na ngayon. Like, kami, government kami, never before was work from home ever heard in the government, in the government sector. No one in the government ever works from home. Now, everyone works. Kahit gobyerno ka, ngayon, yan pala yung ibig sabihin ng WFH. So don't feel so bad na, ay, kawawa naman kami, not like before, na nakakapunta kami sa office. So that is really the reality. Even when you graduate and when you start working, 3 months from now, siguro mag-work from home din siguro kayo at some point. So the strategic plan is, we cannot really plan long term, to be very honest. Kasi nga, wala pa talagang very specific guidelines from CHED. As what you see, nag-email kami, kakulitan ko, and yet they give me back COVID advisory number 7. So again, nothing specific. But they promise that they are crafting new guidelines that will affect internship. And hopefully, sana meron talagang guidelines na klaro, we can plan really more long-term, more strategic. But for now, what we have are alternative modalities that can be considered by your colleges. Again, let me emphasize, these are recommendations. Your college will make the ultimate decision. Baka sabihin nyo, ma'am, sabi ni Ma'am Cynthia, pwede daw to, bakit hindi mo ina-allow? No, they know best what will be the modality that you can use in place of the traditional OJT. Yun lang po. Sige pa, ma'am. May questions pa ba, ma'am?
Actually, ma'am, the next question is related to that, no? Paano yung mga ibang walang makitang OJT na work from home? And bakit po yung ibang colleges allowed po on-site? Thank you po.
That's not, I don't know of any, ewan ko, at least not to my knowledge, I don't know of any college who are allowing their students to report for OJT on-site because the instructions are very clear. No face-to-face OJT. Actually, among all the colleges, ang may sort of leeway to do on-site OJT is allied health, because there was a directive given by Duterte last month na kailangan i-allow na sila ng limited face-to-face classes or even limited OJT kasi hindi tayo pwedeng mawala ng mga doktor at mga nurses. Pero my gosh, if you look at yung mga requirements for them to go to school, do their laboratory, super matindi. Kaya it will take some time. So only allied health will probably be allowed to do on-site OJT. Kasi even our nursing students are not doing, it's all done virtually. So I don't know where that information is from. If so, please let me know. Maybe send us an email. Let us know kung sinong college yan so we can talk direct. At least find out seek clarification. But the direction from the VPAA is no on-site OJT. Everything needs to be online. Unless, of course, as what I mentioned in my presentation, you are currently employed and pumapasok ka naman talaga doon on-site. Then that can be considered provided that your employer practices strict health protocols and, of course, dapat alam ng employer mo. Okay. Ano pa? May question pa ba, Ma'am Lee? Sorry, hindi ko nakikita.
Yes,
sige po. Ikaw na lang mamili, Ma'am Miss Lee.
Sabi po, paano po yung iba kung hindi naman po working students? Possible po ba na 25% din po ng hours ng OJT nila is mabawasan, to be fair lang po?
I think yung how many hours will be credited to your alternative, to your activity will have to be decided by your teacher. Kasi sila kasi yung makakapagsabi sabi mo hindi ka working student, then you have to find alternatives. I don't know, maybe seminars, webinars, or if you can find an actual virtual OJT. Pero yung decision kasi on how many hours will be credited will have to be made by your teacher. So siguro you can appeal to your teacher, to your dean, let's say, kung pwede kayong, as what you said, to be fair. Pero kasi it is not for me to decide. It really is your college who will decide kung how many hours will be credited for alternative activities of non-working students. Sige
Okay
pa,
po,
any
I
more?
think masasagot pa po ba yung iba nating question kasi medyo madami po. Siguro po what we can do is take note na lang po Ma'am Sin kasi medyo po marami pa
Yes,
tayong speakers na naka-line up for
yes
them.
po. Oo, first speaker pa lang ako.
Questions. Opo, kasi nasa comment section naman sila. So, maybe we can get back to those people who we were not able to entertain the questions if hindi pa
and,
nasagot
and,
ng
and,
inyong talk.
and
Pero
also
mostly
students,
nasagot na eh. No?
oo. And also students, please note, kasi baka you're asking me detailed questions on how you will be deployed, anong gagawin nyo. Kasi all the details on exactly what you need to do, hindi kasi ako yung sasagot nun, it's your college. So for example, ma'am, pwede bang ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Ask your college coordinator kasi sila yung gumagawa ng curriculum nyo eh. Sila yung nakakaalam kung pwede ba itong activity na to, kasi may learning outcome, di ba, per course. Ang learning outcome, dapat yung estudyante, after nitong OJT, dapat marunong na siyang mag-program. So itong for CCS. So pag ginawa niya ba to, ma-achieve niya ba yon? It's not me who can decide. It's your teacher. Eh. So yun lang po. Sige, Miss Lynn, siguro
Yes
that
po.
would be best if they can email us or perhaps kasi feeling ko baka yung ibang questions
Actually,
nyo.
I think Miss Erica can take care of it po. Yung mga ino-note po ni Miss Erica na questions,
Okay.
kung kanino po galing, maybe send them answers to those questions. Pero
Sige.
most of the questions, ma'am, I think while I was listening to your talk, nasagot naman na medyo siguro nako-confuse lang sila or baka hindi masyadong clear for them. Kaya may mga questions na naitanong pa din although na-answer na. Like for example, may nagtanong, paano po kung hindi related sa industry ko yung work ko ngayon dun sa OJT na nire-require ng college. So, parang for me, dun sa explanation niyo po, if it's not connected or related dun sa work mo ngayon, yung hindi po pwedeng i-credit yun. Depende rin po sa college
Ay,
nila if they will allow.
actually, actually, Ma'am Lee, nilagay ko doon, possible siyang bigyan ng partial hours. But the ultimate, pag hindi siya related, pero the decision will come from the college. Kasi there are
From the
some, nung dinidiscuss ko yon, may mga ibang college na parang ayaw. May mga iba naman na okay lang. So, kasi pag-iisipin mo, dapat related. Pero, if you will be, nasa teacher kasi yun eh. Kasi depende rin, baka naman yung work mo, meron ka dong ginagawa na pwede mong ma-apply, yung natutunan mo sa school, di ba? Kung ako yung tatanungin, baka pwede siyang bigyan ng partial hours based on my presentation. But the decision will have to rely on your teacher or your dean or your coordinator.
Noted, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am, for all the information and updates on the internship program that we have in
Okay.
UMAK. And now, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
We
you.
will
Thank
move
you
on
very
to the next
much.
speaker. And how would you like to prepare and learn the notable characters you have to watch out during your internship? Because our next speaker will give you an idea based on research. Our next speaker is no other than our university secretary, Engineer Luke Ivan D. Morrow. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. And even my boss is following instructions for health protocols. He was still wearing his mask on. Hello, sir. Good afternoon po. Good afternoon, sir. You're already on screen. We're live, sir. I think you're still on mute, sir. Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. So again, sir,
Okay.
you will be giving information on the coding comments of supervisors on OJT performance of students. So this will be based on the previous survey or research. And I will give the floor to you so that you can discuss to the students who are waiting for this, and maybe they can take note of all these notable comments of the supervisors. Take it away, sir.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lee. Uh, Good afternoon, students. I hope everyone is safe. Okay, you and your family. So let me start with this. Be someone who is reliable. Okay, Miss Cynthia Jose, Director for Center for Linkages, Career Development and Placement, mentioned that among the things that you will have to fill out after by post deployment stage is that you will be rated also. So even if it's a virtual OJT, you would still be rated. Your performance will still be rated by your immediate supervisor. Okay. So what I'm about to share with you are results of the previous ratings evaluation on the performance of OJT of our students. Okay. So first, let me start that the Philippines is one of the youngest countries in Southeast Asia and possibly in the world. Um, I think we are third youngest after Myanmar and Laos. Okay, so the median age right now in 2010 is 23.4, but it is projected that this will rise to 25.7 uh, years of age. Okay, so what does that mean? So half of the population is 23 years old, and the other half is above 23 years old. That's what it means. So even if it rises to 25.7 this in 2020, we're still considered a young population if we compare that to Singapore, which has a median age of 41, and Thailand 33. So we have an advantage. This is what I meant by my headline on Philippine demographics favors economic progress. So we are a young population. That means that we are a rich source of affordable or cheap labor. So, yun. And and this is quite an advantage for us if we consider that the rich countries like Japan, Singapore, South Korea, much of European countries are aging. Kaya nga, there's a huge demand for nurses and caregivers in these countries like Japan and South Korea, even in UK. Okay, so our nurses are being held as heroes because of their commitment and dedication in these pandemic times. So, so the challenge then is that to make you students ready for the global stage. Okay, so you have to be a globally competitive worker. So be ready to find work outside the country. So brush up not just on English, and if possible, you also equip yourself with a foreign language like Spanish, Korean, or Chinese for that matter. Okay? So to achieve that, you have the education that the world needs. Okay? And our education system uh, is comprised of the classroom learning phase and the OJT phase. So in the classroom learning phase, you learn the concepts, okay, and hopefully you also are equipped with the job specific skills. Okay, so to be globally competitive, you have to have two things: job specific skills and what we call soft skills. So these are acquired through education, as I've said, through classroom learning and internship. Okay, so next is that. So this is the definition of internship as provided by CHED in one of its CMOs, CMO 104, series of 2017. And this has already been mentioned by Miss Cynthia Jose. Okay, so um, in the internship, you are able to apply uh, the job specific skills and learn or even uh, acquire or even hone, sharpen the soft skills that you already have, okay? And were already somehow enhanced in the course of your classroom learning, okay? So the internship is also a vehicle for the private sector to participate in the nation building process, in specifically in the molding of our youth. That's youth students, okay? So that's why I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our partners in the private sector for joining us in this OJT orientation. Okay, so let me proceed. So what are the soft skills for employment? So I used a study by Pritchard to classify the soft skills. So I have here six soft skills now. Okay. So professionalism refers to your conduct, how you behave, your manner while in the workplace. Okay. So reliability, as I've mentioned, be someone who is reliable. Communication, problem solving, adaptability, self-direction, and creativity. So so these comments, so from the verbal comments by your supervisor, OJT supervisors, we classify this into six into the soft skills. Okay, so these are the samples. So these are from 2017 up to 2019. Yeah. Okay, so what are the soft skills that employers want or expect from OJT, and what kind of employee they look for, what kind of soft skills they look for from prospective employees. As I've said, be someone who is reliable. So reliability and professionalism are what they look for. So more than the more no reliability. Let me expound on this now. So instead of just providing you definition, I'll just show you some comments so that you will have an idea what these soft skills are, what they refer to. Okay. So on reliability, so they have yung positive feedback, kailangan quick learner and can follow directions well and very precise in any given task, comes to the office early and finish the task ahead of time. Okay? For negative feedbacks naman yan, punctuality and unsatisfactory, frequent absences, need supervision, okay? Improve technical skills. Okay? Allow me to expand on this, especially on the negative feedbacks. I feel that itong mga negative feedbacks na to ay galing ito sa how the students view OJT. Okay? If you view OJT as ano lang, compliance lang of the curriculum, then talagang malilate kayo, mag-absent kayo, and you will not deliver the quality of work that your OJT supervisors expect from you as OJT. Okay? So I hope you will change that kind of mindset. Sana wala pong ganyan mindset. You should view OJT as an opportunity for you to build network. It may not, the OJT may not lead to employment in this, especially now in this pandemic times, but at least you leave a positive word, diba? Meron kang maiiwang may iwang good memory, good impression to your supervisors, which so it's not just it benefits not only you but also the university. So masasabi na ay yung mga estudyante ng UMAK maaasahan, very reliable, and it will help also the next batches, the future batches. So please, I take this moment, I take this opportunity to appeal to you to please take this OJT seriously. and and demonstrate kung ano mang kakayahan meron kayo. So what the true nature of yourself, okay? Na kayo ay someone who is reliable, competent, quick learner, and reliable in terms of attendance and punctuality. Yun po ang ibig sabihin ng reliability. So professionalism, integrity, as I've mentioned, is how you conduct yourself while in the workplace. Okay? So yan, trustworthy, presentable, and dress appropriately. So kasama sa concept of professionalism, you project yourself as if you are a professional. So you dress yourself appropriately. Yung nga lang, in this pandemic times, you can still demonstrate this. Like for example, kung work from home yan attend kayo ng Zoom meetings like this, online meetings. So this is not Zoom. You are dressed appropriately pa rin. So, di ba, marami ng mga YouTube videos where some workers working from home are not dressed appropriately. I remember yung isang news reporter, nakasuit siya sa taas pero unaware siya na yung kanyang camera ay set low, kita tuloy na naka-shorts lang siya. Okay, so even in these online pandemic times, you can still demonstrate professionalism. So kahit online yan, you have to dress appropriately. Okay? So negative feedback, yun nga, wag masyadong mahiyain ha. So shyness can be seen as a negative trait. Okay? So yan. Next, self-direction. Ito yung mayroong sariling initiative. Okay? You have to be able to manage your own time, do the tasks assigned to you without waiting for instructions. That's what they look for. This is what self-direction means. Okay? Next, communication. So good listening skills, okay, and good oral communication skills. So kapag may instruction, you should listen. And hopefully, you get it right. Naiintindihan ninyo. Okay, that's what they mean by communication skills. Next is teamwork, interpersonal skills, of course. Yung pa rin, you should be able to work with others. Work is always collaborative. Okay? Especially in the office setting. So, should learn to work with others. Kaya nga, one way in the classroom, di ba, you're required to do group work is one way of training you to learn to work with others. Okay? Deal with each other's yung eccentricities, tinatawag. Okay? The problem solving, adaptation skills, ito yung mga how well you can solve problems in the workplace. Okay? Tapos, you should be able to adapt kasi, di ba, especially in the workplace, nakaset ang utak mo, itong gagawin mo, biglang may urgent matter na you have to change your plan also, how plan for the day. So that's part of being adaptable. Okay? Next. Creativity, innovation. Okay? So, be willing to learn, be open-minded to new things, to new ways of thinking through. Okay? So, isa sa mga negative feedback yung lack of creative thinking. But through exposure, hopefully, mag-i-improve. Okay? So, in conclusion, what is the main soft skills? What is the main trait that employers look for from their from a prospective employee? So it's being reliable. It's the most valued soft skills. So based from this comments, Reliability has three elements. Yung job-specific skills nga, tinatawag natin yung technical competence and mindfulness of time. Then stress resistant. What do we mean by stress resistant? Kailangan ano mo ang utak mo parang i5 o i7 na ba ngayon? Hindi pwedeng dual core na naghahang after so many. So you should be able to work even under extreme pressure or workload. So kailangan continue ang kahit na maraming workload, hindi pwedeng maghahang yung utak natin. Okay? Yun nga, sabi ko, parang i5 yung processor or i7. Okay? So, mindfulness of time. You should be able to turn in your work at the expected time. So, kung may deadline ka, please observe that deadline. Kasi pag binigyan ka ng assignment, you should be able to at my deadline yun, you should be able to deliver your work within the time frame, within the deadline that was set by your supervisor. Okay? So, even in this in these pandemic times, kahit na work from home, virtual OJT, you can still demonstrate this reliability, yung technical competence. Dapat you should be able to turn in good quality work at the expected time. So mindfulness of time, yung stress resistant. Okay? So be someone who is reliable. Yun ang sinabi ko na kanina. So you should be able to turn in good quality work and you should be able to turn in good quality work at the expected time, at the agreed time. Okay? Then, professional conduct in the workplace. Ayun. Proper dressing, grooming, tapos has a sense of accountability. Organized in approach towards work. So, plan your work. Then, you should be able to accept constructive criticism. Okay? Because at this phase, you're still starting. So, therefore, you cannot approach your OJT and the rest of your life as if your cup is half full. Dapat half empty at marami ka pang you still have a lot to learn. So accept feedback from your superiors, from your supervisor. Kasi they're meant to help you grow. Okay? Then has a sense of accountability. Yung professional conduct siguro. Like kami, kung meron pang physical. Yung kumbaga, meron pang face-to-face na OJT talaga at hindi virtual. So we entertain OJT in the kumbaga, please respect whatever you hear from your superiors, from your supervisors. Sabi nga, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So kami, mga nasa office, we consider our office as our second home. So, sometimes we can be indiscreet. Meron kaming mga nasasabing hindi maganda about others. Sana, manatili lang doon. Huwag ipagkalat. Okay? That's part of being professional. So, you learn to respect yung, kaya nga, like I said, we consider our office as our second home. It's our comfort zone. So, parang we expect na kung ano man narinig doon, parang without being told to, kung ano man narinig doon, wag nang ikalat. Okay? Yes, it's unprofessional on our part also, but yun nga, we consider our office as part of our comfort zone. Okay? So, yan. So, yun nga, how can these soft skills be developed in school under the new normal, under the new, if your OJT is still work from home mode? As I've said, you can still demonstrate the most valuable soft skill, reliability, by turning in good quality work at the agreed time or even before. Okay? Kung ang sinet na deadline ay Tuesday, kung magagawa mo tapos na by Monday, then that's good. That ibig sabihin you're someone who's reliable. Tapos lalo na kung ang nagawa mo ay hindi lang mas maaga sa deadline, ay tama, maganda, di ba? So I guess I start with that, then I will end with that. So be someone who is reliable, and that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. Okay na. Thank you. Nakamute si Lee. Isabihan.
I'm sorry. Okay, there you go. Thank you, sir, for that insightful presentation. I'm sure our interns are really, really prepared because you've mentioned all the work ethics that they should be displaying, or their characters, the things that they should take note of when they have their OJTs. Although right now the challenges, we will be doing this virtually since we're not allowed yet to conduct our face-to-face OJT or internship. But thank you for all the comments that you've mentioned, or the specific comments mentioned by the supervisors that you took note of from the OJTs previously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I guess we are ready to move on to our next speaker. So aside from your leaving your names and courses and colleges on the comment section, also please take note, later we will have an evaluation form, because this will also serve as your attendance in completing this orientation. So if you don't have the link for the evaluation later, your attendance will still not be credited. So you have to make sure you fill out the evaluation form that we'll be posting later. Okay, so earlier I asked what are your expectations, and some answered how can we prepare on how to properly apply for OJTs and what to put on our applications. And as I mentioned earlier, we have speakers who can give us answers to your expectations. And now for our next speaker, he has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business, development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted resource speaker, he has done over 1,000 plus career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. So our next speaker to discuss creating your job-winning resume will be Mr. Kim Chua, the Managing Director for Jobs180.com. So hello, Sir Kim.
Hi, Miss Lee. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So I will leave you and discuss to them how they can properly prepare their resumes for their internship. Thank you.
All right. Okay, let me share my screen. So there, you see it now. So magandang hapon sa mga nakikinig habang aking sinishare itong aking slides. Ako'y natutuwa that we're able to do this again virtually. No? Hindi ko kayo mabibiro ngayon kasi when I was there physically, bibiro ko yung crowd. Sabihin ko, pag inaantok na kayo, sisigaw ako ng UMAK. Dapat sumagot kayo ng MAQ. No, yan yung ginagawa namin before.
You can still do
And
that,
then,
sir.
never natulog yung crowd. Never natulog. No? In fact, every 5 minutes, sasabihin ko, UMAK! Sisigaw sila, MAQ! Diba? Tuwan-tuwa sila eh. But this time, let's not do that. No? Kasi baka magulat yung mga tao sa bahay nyo kung bakit kayo biglang napapasigaw ng MAQ. Okay? So remember, be safe at home, diba? And we continue to learn something. Let's thank the Lord that we're always safe, no? Pati mga family members natin. Ayan na, ma'am. I shared my screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir. Just full screen, and I'm ready to go. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So good afternoon again, everyone. I will be sharing with you
Sir,
today.
full screen po.
Oh, I did share full screen. Hindi pa rin ba naka full screen?
Okay, let's try it again.
Teka. Let me just double check.
Okay, sir.
Wait lang Let me double check. Ayan.
Noted,
Good?
sir.
Is it good now?
It's still not showing, sir, but we'll see. Still waiting for the tech.
Yan ang
Here
technology
again.
ngayon. Kung hindi,
Yes.
can you hear me? Can you
Ako
hear
nga
me?
po nakamute kanina di ba?
Okay lang.
Na-feel ko pa yung pag-welcome ko kay Sir Welcome Back and then nakamute pala ako.
Is it good now? Or
It's not showing
Hindi-
still.
it's not showing? Sandali.
Stop.
May problem pag it's not showing. Sandali. Let me...
Yes po. Nag-stop daw po yung screen.
Okay, let me open it again. Sandali lang pa. We want to make sure that this will work. Okay, share screen. Let's do it again. Share screen. Ayan.
Let's see.
Okay.
Hope
2
this
more
time
seconds. 1 and 2. I hope open na tayo.
There you go. It's opening. Full screen, sir?
Yes, naka full screen na siya.
It's still not in full screen, and while what we're seeing is not in full screen.
Okay. Sige, let me find another way.
Yeah.
Isip tayo paraan. Gagawin
Sabi
natin
daw po,
ngayon,
lahat ng
i-share
nasa
ko yung
comment, sir,
buong screen ko.
nagmamak you sa comment section. Talagang po sila, game na game
I love
po
you
sila
guys.
dyan. Kahit na virtual lang ang ating orientation ngayon.
Basta
Talagang
huwag kayong magkakamali sa pag-type ha. Letter M ha, mark you ha.
Opo.
Huwag niyo naman ako, sandali. Mamaya tayo magmamak you.
Entire screen na lang po daw.
I'll just share the entire
na lang.
screen. Yes, you're
Yes,
correct. Sandali lang. I don't know what's happening.
Ganyan po talaga pag live tayo, parang artista
talaga.
lang.
Okay, I'm now sharing my entire screen. And I hope this
Okay.
time, tama na ito. Nakita nyo na yung buong screen ko at i-open ko na ng full screen.
There you go, sir. It's
All right, great.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you later.
Thank you. Yeah, see you later. So good afternoon, everyone. Allow me to share to you how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. A lot of you are now looking for a job and exploring for the next chapter in your life. I hope that this session will be able to help you. No? Not only you, but the people that you know that needs help in terms of how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. So yan na tinatawag natin resume link. A lot of platforms right now, mga online platforms are being offered left and right. But for you to know paano to magiging job-winning tool or job-winning resume to, meron akong checklist. So go with me, with all these checklists. Your checklist should include the following. Number 1, kailangan mag-stand out ka. When you look for a job, you have to be able to stand out. Because if you're not going to be able to stand out, then I think you'll just be part of the crowd. You'll be one of the next applicant na wala lang, na hindi mapapansin. Another thing that should be in your checklist is that you should only have one file. Hindi dapat maraming files na iba-iba sinesend sa mga companies. Mas maganda, isang file lang para pag sinend mo, lahat ng details mo nandoon na. Another thing in your checklist is that it should make the process more efficient. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis mag-submit, mas mabilis makita ng HR, at mas mabilis kayo makontak for possible next steps na or possible job offer na. Now, another thing in my checklist is that dapat tipid ito, wala itong gastos. The tool that I will show you today, wala itong gastos. Libre po ito. At higit sa lahat, itong pinaka-importante sa lahat, this should be in your checklist. The tool should be secured. Okay, more than anything, importante talaga ang data. Pero ang data ninyo, dapat yung proteksyonan. And using this tool, this is the most secured resume kung tawagin. Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Let me go through the next slides na. Okay? Ito ang tinatawag na resume link. Okay? A personalized URL for anyone can open online anytime. I will use an example para makarelate kayo. If you are John Santos, ang link mo or resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang resume link nyo. So how do you make one? Go with me through the 3 simple steps. First step is you have to register. Absolutely, wala tong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you register? You go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dun ka mag-register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, you have to put the basic information. Okay? So, alam nyo na ano mga information yan. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. Babawasan nyo naman at alam nyo naman ano dapat ilagay. Now, as you create your account, you have to use a valid email. Okay? Now, before we go to the email, paalala ko lang, sa mga nag-isip sa inyo, paano kung hindi ako si John Santos, ano gagawin kong resume link? O yan, baka nag-isip kayo eh. So, if ever lang, meron kang kapangalan. Okay, just so happen na may ibang John Santos na nauna sa inyo, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot. Pag taken na, okay lang, just be creative. Pwede mo gawin, baliktarin mo. Gawin mo santosjohn.jobs180.com o kaya J Santos o kaya Santos J o kaya JS o kaya SJ. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapangalan. Okay? Wala kang kapareho. Now, when you do this, huwag kayong OA. Do not create yung mga ganong klaseng over creative na mga resume link because it doesn't look professional. Imagine submitting to a company with your resume link that says eljablo.jobs180.com. Hindi yan mukhang professional. Okay? Now, when you register, please use a valid email. Ito yung emphasis ko lang sa pag-create nyo ng account na dapat gamitin yung email, yung nabubuksan yung email, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, or any email na nabubuksan nyo. Do not create, example lang yung mga email na kagaya ng ganito, patricia@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng joseph@facebook.com na email to register. In short, huwag mong gagamitin yung @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notification being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na nabubuksan nyo yung email nyo kasi kailangan mo i-verify yung account mo. Okay? It is very important that you verify your account as a proof na ikaw nag-register at pangalawa, para ikaw ay makapag-apply. If you don't do this, if you don't verify, walang mangyayari sa account nyo. Okay? So sayang lang. So you have to verify to finish the first step. Okay? How do you verify? Just open your email, look for the link, click mo yung verify, you're done with the first step. Okay? Tapos na yung first step. Ano yung first step? Register. Wala tong bayad. Let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Kailangan kumpletong detalye nyo. So how do you do that? You go back again to your account by going to the website of jobs180.com. This time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ang gagawin mo, mag-login. Pag login mo, lagay mo dito yung email nyo or resume link nyo. Kayo lang may alam yan. At lalo na yung password nyo na kayo lang talaga may alam yan. So when you do that, you now go inside your account. Pag nasa loob na kayo ng account nyo, ano gagawin nyo? Mabilis na lang ito. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Now, I don't have to go through all the information here because definitely, alam mo naman pag sinabi ditong name, malamang pangalan nyo. Pag nakalagay dito address, malamang address nyo. Diba? So, you put all the information ninyo dito. Okay? Lagay nyo. Then, what else do you put in here? Importante po, lagay dito lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media account nyo. Diba? Hindi lang email tsaka phone number. Bakit? Most of the time, ano nangyayari? Okay, let me tell you. Marami sa inyo nilalagay nyo phone number nyo. Pero pag tinatawagan kayo ng HR, hindi nyo sinasagot, lalo na pag hindi mo kilala. Hala, sino kaya ito? Hindi mo sasagutin. Diba? Kasi takot kayo, baka nagsascam or whoever yung tumatawag. So ano mangyayari sa mga HR? Mag-i-email kami ngayon sa inyo. But you don't open email more often that you open your social media account. So I recommend lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Kagaya ng mga Facebook nyo or Twitter nyo para mabilis tayo makapag-PM. Private message, makapag-invite for the next step. Okay? What else do you put here? You also put here your work options, yung mga work experience nyo. Pagdating po sa work options, you can see on the screen, you have 4 options na pwede nyo pagpilian. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no switch, on, off switch. So you can choose here, example, looking for OJT, lagay mo yes if you're looking for OJT right now. And later on, pag hindi na, turn it off. Edi lagay mo na no. Diba? So depende yan kung anong mas trip nyo or anong mas pasok dun sa hinahanap nyo right now. What the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Yan yung kagandahan ng tool natin. Hindi mo kailangan mag door-to-door para mag-submit ng resume link ninyo. Okay? What else do you put here? You put here your school under education. Even later on, okay, pagka-graduate nyo, you can also put here your schools. Yung mga nag-take pa kayo ng further studies, pwede mo rin ilagay dito. Okay, so walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating pa sa seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gano'ng karami, pwede nyo ilagay dito. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo. Just make sure lang alam mo yung seminar na yon. Kaya baka matanong ka sa interview. Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. Put all the certification programs that you've had, you put it here. Okay? When it comes to the achievement, do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay Dean's Lister. Hindi kayo lahat dito ay honor student. Diba? Ayan, nag-agree marami sa inyo. So, hindi lang po ang achievement nakabase sa academic excellence. Some of you are student leaders. So, if you're active sa school, you also put it here kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan nyo. And hindi lang sa loob ng school, even outside the school. If you're active in your barangay, halimbawa, isa kang tanod, ilagay mo dyan. Diba? Yan yung mga achievement ninyo. So, you put it here. Bakit? Because what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, ito yung common observation namin mga HR. Pagdating sa skills, nilalagay mo lang na skills yung mga umiikot lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat communication arts ang course mo, com arts lang ang skills na alam mo. Hindi porkat engineering ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang engineering. Hindi porkat tourism or HRM ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang tourism at pang HRM. Maybe some of you are into multimedia, into photography, into videography, into something else, arts, crafts, whatever. Lahat ng yan, skills nyo yan. Remember, what you're doing here is you're marketing yourself more effectively. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, ilagay mo dito lahat ng skills na alam ninyo. Pagdating po sa languages, ganun din. Huwag mong ilimit yan sa dalawang lengguwahe lang. Because I'm sure alam nyo na yung dalawa. Kung dalawa lang talaga alam nyo, din dalawa lang. Ano tong dalawang to? English and Tagalog or Filipino. Okay? Now, if you know other local dialect, Bisaya, Kapampangan, Chabacano, Ilonggo, you can also put it here. If you know foreign languages, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, diba, Korean, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? Walang limit sa space yan. When it comes to the references, sigurado ko yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang malaking tanong dito kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. So please tell them, ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now at this point, to make your life easier, kung sakali lang nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo in your Word file or maybe in your doc file, depende kung anong file nyo, PDF file, whatever file you have. Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo, simple na lang. Just copy all the information inside dito. No, ilagay mo sa loob ng resume link. Just transfer them here inside the resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung bakit secured, I'll tell you as we go along. Okay? So yung mga sinabi ko, I think alam nyo na yan. Alam nyo na yan. Okay? Itong mga susunod kong papakita, ito yung mga amazing na portion. Let me start with the portfolio section. Ano yung portfolio section? This is the part where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Diploma, di ba? Transcript. Ano pa? Toga, hindi ebidensya yung toga. Okay? Kung ano man meron nyo, 'di ba? Certificate, diploma, 'yan, ebidensya 'yan, okay? Kung transcript of records is evidence na graduate na kayo. Ano ebidensya na wala kayong criminal record? NBI clearance, police clearance, 'di ba? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? Passport, visa, lahat ng mga sinasabi mong mga skills mo or yung mga what you're claiming that you know, you can now support them here sa portfolio section by showing those documents. Diba? Anong ebidensya na ikaw ay healthy? Meron kang medical clearance. Anong ebidensya na pwede kang mag-drive ng sasakyan? Meron kang driver's license. Diba? So gets nyo na yung sinasabi ko. Ang point ko lang is you can now put the things here to support yung claim nyo of your skills. Now, you're starting to think, Sir, kung pare-pareho naman kaming graduate sa school namin, pare-pareho kami magkakaklase, same yung course namin, same yung school, same yung teachers, same yung curriculum, pare-pareho lang naman kami lahat, walang experience sa trabaho, how will we stand out? Ayan, di ba? Okay, ito ngayon yung isang magandang recommendation ko sa inyo on how you now stand out. You get your smartphones. Kunin mo yung mga smartphones nyo. Kung wala, manghiram sa kaibigan. Okay, hiram mo sa kaibigan mo. I-record mo yung selfie video mo. You say something interesting about yourself. Record it in about 30 seconds to 1 minute lang. Huwag na masyadong mahaba. Ano gagawin mo? Pretend that you are being interviewed by the HR. So you answer basic questions like, tell me something about yourself. O, di ba? Ano yung mga gasgas sa tanong natin? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? Just imagine na tinanong ka ng HR at sasagutin mo na lang siya. Ang maganda lang ngayon, recorded mo. So kung hindi mo type yung sagot, edi-delete mo. Pag type mo, you save it. Then you upload it sa YouTube or sa Vimeo. Maraming mga video channel na libre, mga video converter sa online. Hanapin mo lang. And when you're done, you put that video link doon sa portfolio section nyo. O, di ba? This time, it will definitely make you stand out because depende na to sa diskarte mo on how you're going to present yourself. Okay? So I leave it up to you on how you do that. Now, another thing for you to do, na sure akong hindi to makokopya ng classmate mo, ay yung picture mo. Diba? So you put your profile picture here. Now, when it comes to the picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Hindi kailangan pumunta sa studio. Huwag na kayo gumastos. Ang importante dito, tumingin kayo sa camera. Plain background. Okay? Plain background, tumingin kayo sa camera. Wear something, of course. Wear something decent. Okay? Do not upload profile pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung mga sample na yan, hindi po maganda example yan. Okay? So, huwag kayo maglagay ng ganun kasi mga sample ng profile picture. Now, another good thing pa that will make you stand out using the resume link is your cover photo. Yes! A picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang kasabihan na very, very applicable dito. A lot of you who are listening today, hindi kayo gifted with writing skills. Hirap kayo i-express ang inyong feelings at inyong thoughts into words. Hindi mo ma-type, hindi mo ma-sulat. Tama? Hirap tayo eh. Bakit? Hindi natural sa atin yan. Pero pagdating sa picture, kaya mo i-express yung inyong personality. Look at the examples I'm showing you. Look at the one on the left. Ano siya? Isa siyang ophthalmologist or optometrist. Sabi naman ng iba, eye expert. Di ba? Yung sa kanan, ano siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, parang IT. Sir, techie siguro kasi maraming gadget, pati stapler, gadget niya. Di ba? Halimbawa, o sabi ng iba naman, sir, parang makalat. O depende na kung how you are going to interpret it. But now, the way I see it, itong taong to, multitasker. Okay? Another good example I'm showing you is this one. Someone from psychology, someone from neurologist, or maybe someone who knows left and right. Ganun lang kasimple. No? So, depende yan how you're going to express yourself. Okay? Another good example pa, ito. Itong person na to, ang gusto niya sabihin, there's no shortcut to success. You will be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? So, I'm showing you good examples. Hindi yan member ng Akit Bahay Gang. Hindi rin po yan social climber, in case that's what you're thinking. So, kung nagpakita ko ng magaganda example, I will also show you yung mga hindi magandang example para wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Make sure you put your picture there. Okay? Kasi maraming pangalan ngayon, interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. Ako rin mismo, napagkakamala ko yung mga aplikante, panakita ko, Chris, George, Alex, Sam. O, di ba? Minsan isipin ko, Joey, lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Di ba? So, you better put your picture there para at least alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, when you make your resume link, dapat may laman talaga yan. Kasi kung walang laman yan, ganyan itsura niyan. Blanco. And how do you expect companies will look, or HR from companies will look at your profile if you submit to them resume links that look like this? It's like submitting a piece of a paper, bond paper, or long bond paper, short bond paper na walang laman except pangalan mo. And that's the same as this one. So hindi yan papansinin ng mga HR for sure. Okay? Sayang lang oras nyo tsaka oras ng HR. Kailangan attractive. Okay? When I say attractive or catchy, do not overdo it naman. Now, this is just in my opinion. In my opinion, I think this one is not a good example kasi ang dating niya parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, parang chill-chill lang, no? Parang ganoon ang dating. So, I leave it up to you on how you'll be, expressing yourself na dito. Okay? So, sa mga personality nyo. Alam niyo na, ano dapat nyo gawin at hindi nyo dapat gawin. So, showing a very good example is si iExpert. Tignan mo, lahat ng detalye niya, kompleto. Everything from top to bottom, kompleto lahat ng details, including yung kanyang mga portfolio section na nagpapatunay na siya ay isang licensed ophthalmologist. Pinakita niya lahat ng mga posibleng hingiin pa sa kanya ng mga HR. So bakit ko sinabi sa inyo na papabilis yung buhay dito? Hindi lang buhay nyo. Pati buhay din ng HR na papabilis. Because once you submit all this information to that company, when the HR opens your resume link and sees everything about you, dalawa lang ang pwedeng mangyari niyan. One is, nahuli mo atensyon, gusto kanya ngayon kausapin or schedule for the next step, like interview or possibly job offer, or hindi ka nag-fit. Yun yung second. Di ba? Para at least, ang maganda rito, hindi na pabalik-balik, hindi na siya tatawag para sabihin, hello ma'am, meron ka bang evidence na graduate ka na talaga sa school na yan? Can you send me your transcript? Diba? Can you send me yung mga evidence or yung mga sample skills or sample work mo kasi you are in IT or in graphic design, diba? Gets mo ibig ko sabihin, wag nang pabalik-balik, sayang yung oras. Okay? Time is of the essence, lalo na ngayon. So you put everything there, at least pag nakita ng HR, diretso na kagad sa pagpaprocess sa inyo. Okay? A lot of you are now thinking, sir, pag gumawa ako ng resume link at nilagay ko lahat ng information ko dyan, baka naman yung mga data ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman yung mga information ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secured resume. Okay? Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. Follow the screen. Inside your dashboard, when you log in, you can go to your settings. Sa settings mo, to be specific, puntahan mo yung privacy settings. In your privacy settings, you choose the information that you want to show in public. Halimbawa lang you do not want to show your birthday. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita yung address mo. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita ang inyong references. What do you do? Turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At sino may control niyan? Kayo lang. O, di ba? Ang maganda pa rito, real-time update yan. Halimbawa, today, you decide not to show your birthday, your address, and references. And then 5 minutes later, you decide, sige, pakita ko na nga birthday ko. Turn it on. Real time. 5 minutes later, the moment you save your settings, lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na rin sila real time. As in real time. Di ba? Ayos, di ba? Sige, tuloy natin. Tuloy pa natin to. So, reminders ko na lang sa mga late na dumating or kakakinig lang, when you make your resume link, make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive. Okay? Wag OA. Iba yung over naman yun. No? Wag naman ganun. So, make sure it's attractive, it's catchy. Complete all the information, especially your contact details. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng ginawa mo, nahuli mo attention, hindi ka makontak ng HR. So, better make sure nandyan yung mga contact details yun na updated. Okay? So, yan. So, tapos na tayo sa 2 steps. Last step na lang. Ano yung first step? Recap lang. First step is register. Wala tong bayad. Libre po yan. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical. And the last step now is for you to submit. So, you're now thinking, okay to paano ko gagamitin ngayon yung resume link? Bigyan kita ng iba-ibang paraan. Okay, lahat ito practical application para makarelate kayo. Unang option, pumunta ka sa website ng jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com, and that's where you now start to look for companies. Type the companies that you're looking for. Pag may lumabas, edi good. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Okay, huwag din pilitin. Okay? Now, you can also see there a lot of companies, a lot of company logos that you can shop around, you can choose, learn about the company, and if you want to be part of the company, I recommend you submit your resume link kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Let me repeat what I've just said. If you want to be part of an organization, if you want to be part of that company, even if you are not yet qualified, I recommend you give your resume link to that company. Bakit? Imagine, kung ngayong hapon, ngayong araw, nag-submit ka ng resume link sa isang kumpanya na naghahanap ng 3 years experience na aplikante. Wala ka pang 3 years experience. Okay lang. Because nabigay mo na yung resume link mo sa kanya, pagdating ng 2024, siguro naman by that time, meron ka ng 3 years experience, di ba? Kasi nag-work ka na ngayon by 2021. By 2024, may 3 years experience ka na, pwede ka na ma-qualify dun sa position in-applyan mo. And you never know. That company might just contact you later on, provided that your details are still updated. So you have to update those information real time. Ayos ba? Ayos, di ba? Wala nang pabalik-balik. Hindi mo na kailangan magbalik-balik dun sa kumpanya para sabihin, nag-apply po ko sa inyo last year. Ako po yung OJT nyo 3 months ago. Wala nang ganun. Okay? Another practical application. When you submit your resumes through email, how do you do that? Madalas, ito ginagawa natin. Mag-email tayo, sasabihin natin, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position and this is my resume. Ano gagawin nyo? I-attach mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo. Tama? If that is how you're doing it, wag mo nang gawin yon. Wag ka na mag-attach ng anything sa email. Pampabagal lang yan, tsaka makaluma na yung style na yan. Bakit ko sinabi yon? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan talaga mag-attach ng anything. Ang gagawin mo, i-type mo na lang doon sa email mo yung resume link mo. Example, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, 01.jobs180.com. That's it. Submit. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you. Send. Every time meron kang babaguhin sa details mo, hindi mo na kailangan padalhan yung HR. Kasi kung ginagamit mo mga attachment, ang kulit niyan ang kulit, saka nakapagod. Ano gagawin mo pag nagbago ka ng phone number? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated resume. Mamaya-maya, 2 weeks later, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated, most recent resume. O di ba? Every time meron kang babaguhin, padala ka na padala doon sa HR. Nakakapagod yan, hindi lang sa part nyo, kundi sa part din namin sa mga HR to keep track which one yung pinaka-updated na details. So this time, wala na kailangan. Palit-palit na lang kayo ng details nyo, update na lang sa loob ng resume link. Ayos ba? Ayos pa. Okay, tuloy pa natin to. Okay? If you want to print your resume, this is now the good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng papel at mag-submit sa mga kumpanya, walang kaso. Pumunta ka lang sa dashboard mo, hanapin mo yung print na option at mamili ka kung 1 column or 2 column version ang gusto mo i-print. What the system will do is it will try to compress everything into one page para tipid na. O, di ba? Now, usapang tipid. Ito mas tipid pa. Gusto mo mag-print ng resume pero gusto mo magtipid. Itong gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Ano tong resume link card? Sa isang pirasong long bond or short bond paper, mag-design ka ng maraming resume link card. No? Maliliit lang, parang business card ang dating. In one piece of paper, I think you can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa size ng papel mo. At ang importante lang ilagay mo dyan sa resume link card mo ay syempre ang inyong resume link. Diba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay lahat ng details mo sa resume sa loob ng maliit na papel. Lagay mo lang resume link mo. And that is what you now give to the companies when you start applying. Look at the picture I'm showing you. Di ba? Tipid. Hindi lang tipid. Secured pa. Tingnan nyo. If you submit yung big paper resume nyo, long bond paper, sinubmit mo sa isang kumpanya, nag-apply ka. For some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye mo because everything is in that one-page printout. Now, if you lose that small piece of paper, don't worry. Meron kang peace of mind. Bakit? Yung mga kapulot niyan, limited sa privacy settings mo because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings kahit na i-type niya yan sa browser. Okay? So, ang recommend ko rin sa mga nakikinig, use the gadget. Take advantage of the technology. Use your gadget, your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, kung ano man. Okay? Para ngayon kasi, this day and age, technology na ang gamitin natin. Kung mano-mano pa rin kayo, wala kayong gadget, okay lang. Huwag kayong malungkot. You can still submit to the companies by just simply writing the resume link on a piece of paper. As simple as that. Okay? So, again, sa mga nagtatanong, ano yung mga guidelines ko para makagawa ako ng job-winning resume? Ito yung guideline ko. Ito yung checklist ko. Are you using the right tool? That's the ultimate question. There are so many tools right now, but these are the things that you should consider when you make your resume. And that is the resume link. It already addresses the following. Number 1, security ng information mo. I hope by this time, you have peace of mind. Ito na ang pinaka-secure na information because you have the ultimate control over your privacy setting. Pangalawa, the speed of hire becomes faster. It becomes more efficient because whatever you need, whatever the HR needs, you can already put it inside the resume link. Another thing is that it's flexible. If you want to print, just in case lang gusto mo talaga mag-print ng resume nyo, you have the option to print it. And you don't have to worry about saan ko sinave yung file na yan, saan ko tinago, wala nang ganun. Just log into your account and print. Mamili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. At higit sa lahat, wala po itong bayad. Tipid po ito. Walang bayad. Okay? Ang kailangan mo lang, of course, internet. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, sir, kailangan ko ng pan-data, pwede ka naman makakonect sa internet na walang data eh. Punta ka sa libreng wifi. Di ba? Baka yung kapitbahay nyo may libreng wifi, makagamit ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho ka na, may sweldo na, bayaran mo yung wifi niya. Di ba? Bawi-bawi lang yan. No? Give and take. And there are a lot more benefits to just what I've mentioned. Marami pang iba. You can share your resume link to whatever platform you want to share it to. Gusto mo i-text? Gusto mo siya i-private message? Gusto mo i-send via Viber? Kayo bahala. Pwede mo i-share. Basta kayo may control. Ganun lang kasimple. No? Kung hindi mo ito binigay sa kahit kanino, hindi malalaman to nung taong yon. And you don't have to save it to whatever USBs or hard drive. No need na. Wala rin tong mga tipong version na kailangan pa mag-compatible. Walang ganun. Lahat ito compatible. Pwede lahat. Okay? So, shout out na lang ako. Shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, right now, we have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So, thank you. We're very thankful for this opportunity that we're able to do this kahit tayo nasa loob ng bahay, kahit kayo ay nasa loob ng bahay. So, hindi tayo physically nagpe-present, pero nakakatulong pa rin tayo, especially if you have friends or relatives whom you think would need this tool. Please share this to them. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong naman ng mga frequently asked questions, sasagutin ko na. Ito kasi yung mga common questions na kadalasan tinatanong sa akin. Ang tanong, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. It depends kung sino ang bibigyan mo. Ikaw may ultimate control niyan. Okay? Pangalawang question, is this the same as other job platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, iba pang mga job site? The answer is no. Meron tong dalawang major difference. Yes, lalo na pagdating sa security. Okay, of course, explain lang ako Okay, with respect to the other sites that I've mentioned, let me just use JobStreet as an example para lang mas makarelate, no? Para makarelate. You can only use JobStreet resume if you're applying to companies who are also using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your resume link, you can use this to any type of company, any platform, wherever they are. Kahit sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas ng Pilipinas, pwede mong applyan. Kahit hindi niya alam ang Jobs 180, basta alam niya ang resume link mo, pwede niya mabuksan ang profile at makita according to your settings. That's the first difference. Pangalawang difference, kung nabigay mo na, kung na-submit mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Lahat ng data mo nandun na yan sa HR. Yes. Hindi na magbabago yan real time. With your resume link, na-submit mo today, mali pala number mo, na-submit mo today, mali pala yung spelling mo, you can always edit it, enter, save it, Real-time update. Lahat ng bigyan mo ng resume link updated real-time. Ayos? Okay, tuloy tayo sa number 3 question. Number 3 question is the easiest question. Ang tanong dito is, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform. Okay? That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Okay? Number 4, I think this is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Ang sagot dito, hindi araw-araw, hindi linggo-linggo, hindi buwan-buwan, hindi taon-taon. Ang sagot dito ay every time. Every time na meron kayong babaguhin, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Yan ang importante. You have to update your contact details every time na meron kayong papalitan doon. Kasi yan yung paraan para makontak kayo ng mga companies. And the last question is just a trivia. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around. Yan, di ba? 180 degrees. Hindi siya 360. Kasi kung 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Di balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang. Di wala nangyari. Di ba? So you have to do it 180 degrees. It's a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya magtanong, pumunta lang kayo sa website namin, sa jobs180.com, or email us, email me, here sa info@jobs180.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram para makakuha kayo ng mga latest trends in recruitment. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chu Wa. Don't forget yung Wa. Okay? Baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. Na nagsasabing, be safe at isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Wow! Thank you, sir. Ang daming tuwang-tuwa. Naku, kung mababasa mo lang po lahat ng mga comments natin sa live natin, naku, talagang meron pang nai-in-love na sa'yo dahil sa dami ng mga information.
Malabo na mata niyan.
Yes, sir. Meron din sabi, nice resume link, and then excellent speaker. Bravo. Mahal ko na ata si sir.
Thank you po. Thank you po.
Pero po may mga nagsabi din na inhale, exhale, sir. Galing niyo po. Detalyado lahat. Yan po mga comments as ano.
Sana walang mga macula comment
Marami po actually.
Marami mga macula.
Macula lang ang sakalam daw. May mga ganon.
Yeah,
Tapos
salamat
po,
din.
may mga konting tanong lang po, like paano namin malalaman na tumatanggap ng work from home na internship, sir? Kasi naka-required sa bawat company doon na at least 1 year experience lahat yung field.
Ako, sagot ko dito very simple and straight to the point. Tanongin nyo. Alamin nyo. That's the only way for us to know. Let's not assume. Mahirap mag-assume, di ba? Alam nyo yan.
Yes,
Mahirap
sir.
mag-assume. Okay?
Yes.
Let's ask. Wala namang masama magtanong eh. It's about how you ask them as well. Wag naman tayo magtanong ng pabastos, 'di ba? You can ask them politely by asking are you accepting internship online? Are you 'di ba? Iba hindi lang 'yan ang gusto tanungin, iba gusto pa tanungin, may allowance po ba? 'Di ba? Meron ba? Diba?
Tama po.
You can ask all these questions, and I'm sure those companies that you'll be applying to will be more than willing to answer those questions, no? Basta lang, ask them politely.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And ang dami pa rin pong magagandang comments ang binibigay nila. Like, Sir Kim Chua lang sakalam. Meron ka rin pong sakalam. Yes po. And then, thank you po, solid, sir. Hindi po ako inantok yung mga comments nila. So, siguro po hindi na po namin iti-take yung time ninyo kasi meron pa po tayong mga future speakers na naka-line up. So we'll take this opportunity to give this a virtual awarding of certificate. So let me just read the citation. So University of Makati, Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Center for Linkages in Career Development and Placement awards the Certificate of Appreciation. So this certificate is awarded to you, sir, Mr. Kim Chua, for sharing his knowledge and expertise as resource speaker for his talk on creating your job-winning resume during the virtual internship orientation 2021 with the theme Preparing Yourself for the Job Market in the New Normal, held on the 16th day of February 2021 at the University of Makati virtual internship orientation. So there you go, sir. And again, thank you so much for that very, very insightful, and we can be sure now that most of our interns will be preparing job-winning resumes. So thank you, sir, and we'll move on to the next speaker. See you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, and now that you have a chance to prepare your job-winning resume, time for you to prepare your job interviews. And to discuss that, let me introduce our next speaker. So he has more than 17 years of experience in recruitment, sourcing, and human resources. He manages the internal recruitment team and is in charge of technology and process enhancement to increase productivity and efficiency for PSG Global Solutions. He is the manager for internal recruiting. And let me call on our next presenter, Mr. Paulo de la Cuesta. Hello, sir.
Hi,
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon. Hi.
Hello. And you will be talking about job interviews. Maybe since you're a recruiter, you'll give them common questions about job interviews and how they are supposed to answer and prepare for their interviews in the internship, right?
Yeah, sure. So I have a little presentation that I prepared. Let me just share my screen for you guys. Okay. Okay. There we go. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. I'll leave you with your presentation. I'll see you later.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So once again, thank you for that introduction. Thank you to the University of Makati for having me today, as well as Jobs 180. It's always a pleasure to meet new applicants, especially you guys who are just starting out and joining the world of work. I'm happy to be here at the start of your journey. Okay, so my topic today will be about how to prepare for a job interview. Okay, so it's so there are two ways it could be for jobbers now with the new normal. It could be a virtual job interview. It could be it could be face to face. There's a it's as they say, a new normal, which we're working out, and hopefully, now that the vaccines are rolling out, we can have more people applying face to face just like we did before. Okay, so preparing for a job interview is pretty easy. Okay, I mean you'll see a lot of articles about that when you go on the internet. It's pretty obvious things you want to do. So what I want to do is I want to prepare you for making the job interview process as effective for you and getting the most out of each interview. Okay. So first thing that you have to do is to study. So what are the things that you have to study? So it's a bit nerdy to do, but it will help you. It will help you in the job application process. Study about the company that you wish to join and the role that you are applying for. Okay, so you guys are fresh graduates. You have an idea about what kind of work you wanna have, what kind of job you want to have, what kind of company you want to join. Keep that idea. Keep those non-negotiables that you have on what you expect of a company that you'll be joining, and read up on the companies that you're applying for. So before you submit your application, before you go through it, read up about them. Okay, study what exactly they do, where their office is. Read comments by other people about them. Wonderful thing about the internet now. There's so much information out there. Back when I was applying, there wasn't much use of there was much comments about the companies. Unlike now it's like whenever you have this luxury of when you're applying for a company, you can read up all about it, not just what they're putting out there, but what other people have to say about it, even other applicants. Kind of like Lazada, you have customer reviews that you can look up. So read up on the role so that you know what you're applying for. And this might seem silly, but study your own resume. It's funny how a lot of people they get tripped up on what the things that they're in the resume. They put in a lot of stuff there that they're not so aware of, so they get tripped up when they ask. So just be sure that you're cognizant of what's in there. Okay, and prepare any questions you might have. So this is a very important part that I'll touch on more later in the presentation. Uh, but so I think it's very, very important that you do so that you can learn as much about the company that you're joining. So I'll share a tip with you guys. When you walk into a job interview, I notice that a lot of people are nervous, um, especially when you're a fresh graduate. When I graduated a long, long, long time ago, I walked into my first job interview. I was pretty nervous as well. Uh, so one thing I think that you can think of that will help you not be quite as nervous is to know that each interviewer that's interviewing you, they're hoping that you will pass their interview. Okay, so that's it's a secret I'd like to share. Every recruiter and that is there doing their job interviewing people, they have targets of people to hire, so they're hoping that each person that they meet will be someone that will be fit for the role that they're applying for. So they're really rooting for you when you walk in that door, you join that virtual interview. So there's really no need for you to be nervous because they're hoping that you'll do well. Okay, next thing, do dress up. Okay, so be in business casual, no need for a tie. I mean, business casual is just come in a polo. If you want to wear a tie, that's fine. If you want to wear a barong, that's fine. Just try to be formal. Try to present yourself in formal attire. You can look it up on Google if you need to know what business casual is. If it's a virtual interview, make sure at least your top is formal. Uh, be cognizant of your background. So I remember I had one candidate. I interviewed her, and although she did really well, she was I don't know exactly where she was taking the interview, but her background was all of her clothes hung up on the wall behind her. So it was a bit embarrassing, but you want to avoid that. Okay, so if your wall isn't, if you don't think that it seems very formal during a virtual interview, you can cover it with a blanket or something. Okay, sorry about that. My wife is just vacuuming in the background. All right, technology. Okay, so this relates more to your virtual interviews. Make sure that you have a good internet connection. There are times when you know that your internet will go down, make sure that you don't have your interview scheduled around those times. Like for me, 8:30 on the dot, I have to switch to a different router because I know that my provider goes down because that's usually around the time that all these students log into school. So be cognizant of those times. Power. So if you know there's going to be a scheduled blackout on the day of your interview, make sure you go and take the interview somewhere else where you're not worried about the power shutting down. Make sure that you have a power bank for your laptop or your phone, wherever you're taking your virtual interview from. And make sure to back up everything. Okay. All right, and this is the part which I think is the most important in any interview. So, especially for you fresh graduates, it's important to be yourself, okay? Because you want to be hired as yourself. You don't want to be hired because you are putting out they always say, put your best foot forward during every interview. Try to impress, things like that. Yeah, I understand that you do want to impress people about the things that the things that you're good at, but it's very important to be authentic, okay? Because every interviewer, like I said, they want you to fit. They want to make sure that you fit in the role that you're applying for, and so they'll be. So it's important that you actually do fit in that role, because if you apply for a job and then it's not exactly the job that you want, but you get it anyways, or something that you're not really good at, but you just really wanted it, then you'll only end up with unhappiness in the future. Okay, so if always start out every interview with a list of non-negotiables. Okay, what are the things that you want in a job, in terms of schedule, in terms of salary, in terms of location, those kind of things. In terms of the kind of work that you do, what are your non-negotiables? What are the things you don't want to be doing? What are the things that you want to avoid? Keep that list, and when you're interviewed, try to find out as much about the job you're applying for as you can. Try to find out as much as you can, because you want to know that if this is a job that you can actually do, that you'll be successful at, especially since it's your first job. Okay, you want to have a good start out with a good working experience. Like just to give you an example, my first job uh, was actually something I had taken on a whim. When I graduated, my mom put a newspaper. Yeah, I'm that old. We still had jobs in the newspaper back then. But she gave me a newspaper, and she'd circled a whole bunch of jobs. And she said, "Okay, we're gonna go visit these companies later." So she had me print out a whole bunch of my resumes. And we went to all of these locations one by one. And first job, it was for a job. It was for I remember it was a customer service role, and it was the first job, so I took it, not thinking that later on that I wasn't really I had difficulty working on a night shift, and the location was actually something that was pretty inaccessible for me during that time, so it ended up being very difficult, and I didn't end up staying very long in that job. So that's what I mean about making sure that you're entering the right job and the right company for you. Okay, because you wanna make sure that you're able to give your best, you're able to perform, that you're able to deliver what's expected of you. You want to be successful, and being successful means that you get a role which you can actually deliver in. So it's okay to be flexible, of course. Like if it's on schedule or salary, especially since you're a fresh graduate, not every job will be an exact fit to what you're looking for. But try to set yourself along the lines of where you want to be 5-10 years from now. So most recruiters ask you that, where do you want to be 5-10 years from now? The reason why they ask you that is because they want to see if the job that you're applying for, the job that they're offering, is something that will lead to where you want to be. They want to make sure. They also want to help you on your career journey and make sure that you're also pointing yourself in the right direction, because you don't want to get sidetracked. Okay, but it's your first job. I guess it's okay if you wander around a bit. I've taken quite different paths in my career, but as much as possible, always prepare yourself. I think getting a job which is not fit for you will be, it can sometimes lead to a lot of discomfort and discomfort on your end, and some upsetting situations. Okay, be persistent. So you failed your first interview. That's okay. It's not because you didn't do good. It's really just because, as I said, you're not a fit for what they were offering you, what the job was looking for. You're not a fit in that job, but that doesn't mean that you're not a fit for a different job. So it's like, I know it sounds like one of those motherhood, lots of fish in the sea statements, but I really do believe that there is a great job waiting for you. You just have to, you hunker down and look for that job and keep applying. Okay, this is your first job, but as you progress in your career, do take interviews all the time. Personally, I attend at least if I am invited, or I attend at least 2 interviews every year, even if I have no plan of really transferring, mostly to gauge where I am in terms of my skills, where what I have to offer. It's a great exercise and it's great practice for you. Okay, well, it's probably not something you want to indulge in your first job, but as you grow older, maybe it's one thing you want to try. All right, so that was I know it's a pretty fast talk, especially compared to the other presentations, but that's really all I had to say about that. Preparing for a job, it's not that difficult, as long as you go into each job interview knowing what you want, what you expect, and also being ready.
Hello po. Thank you, Sir Paulo. Hello. Oh, hello, sir. Okay, I think there's a little bit of technical difficulty on Sir Paulo's connection. So, well, I'll just read some of the comments that you've shared on our Facebook page. It says here, "Hi, Sir Paulo, is your company PSG Global already hired or accepting virtual internship?" So we'll ask him that later. But just to remind everyone, again, later on, we will post the evaluation form or link to that form. Later, we'll post it on this page and on the comment section so that you can include that as a part of your attendance. Okay, and now that you have, siguro we'll get if Sir Paulo will be back, we'll talk to him again later. Oh, there you go.
Wow, did I cut
Hello,
out?
sir.
Yeah, did I cut out? I was just going straight ahead. I don't know if at what point did I cut out?
I'm not sure, sir, because you just I think you were telling them about how to just be themselves, and then reviewing all the things that you mentioned earlier during your talk.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, I think that's pretty close to the end about being yourself. Uh, well, I only had one slide after that, which was being persistent, and not sure if if you guys saw that part. Well, anyways, I guess if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
There's just one that I took note of. I think this is regarding if you've already hired someone or are accepting for virtual internship.
Internships right now, I'll have to get back to you on that if we're looking at internships. I think it's something that we can explore at PSG right now. So just about PSG, we're a recruiting company. We do recruitment for companies in the U.S. as well as companies in the Philippines, and then there is also my team, which does recruitment of the recruiters. So I haven't thought of it, but it's something I can consider, and I'll let you guys know if we do start accepting internships. I know we
Okay.
did in the past, but I have to figure that out.
Yes, because we actually have a lot of students from the College of Computer Science. I think you're one of our partners with the College of Computer Science, and some of our student participants are looking for an internship from the College of Computer Science. That's why they ask about
Well,
this.
I can check in with my team and get back to you guys on that.
Okay. So
Yeah,
again,
I
thank you,
think
sir.
we might have something.
We'll take this opportunity to also virtually give you an awarding of the certificate of appreciation. Um, so I'll just read the citation again. University of Makati, Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Center for Linkages and Career Development and Placement,
Wow.
awards the certificate of appreciation to Sir Paulo de la Cuesta for sharing his knowledge and expertise as resource speaker for his talk on job interviews during the virtual internship orientation 2021 with the theme Preparing Yourself for the Job Market in the New Normal, held on the 16th day of February 2021 at the University of Makati. Signed, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Elixir C. Ramos. So thank you,
Oh,
sir,
thanks
and
very
please
much.
accept this certificate of appreciation.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. All right. Bye bye.
Okay, and we'll listen to if ever you get back to us regarding the question posted earlier. Please let
Yeah.
Miss
Well,
Cynthia know so that we can inform the students as well.
sure. I'll get back to you guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
so now that you have prepared or you have taken note of the resume, job winning resume, and the job interviews, maybe you can also prepare yourselves with the top skills employers look for. And our next speaker will tell you more about that. Okay, and she has more than a decade of sorry, that business process outsourcing experience that focuses on learning and development. She leads a team of world-class trainers who provide learning programs that target the development of each learner in terms of effective communication, as well as help in upskilling near hire applicants. She has been a part of Sykes for more than a year and the manager for area training manager for core skills in Sykes Academy, Sykes Asia. Let's call on our next speaker to talk about top skills employers look for, Miss Candice de la Cruz. Hello, Miss Candice.
Hello, hi. Good
Hi, good
afternoon, Lee.
afternoon.
How are you? Good afternoon,
I'm good, thank
everyone.
you. How are you too?
I'm all
Yes,
good.
I'm sure they're also excited to know more about the top skills employers look for. So we'll wait for you
Right.
to discuss more about that.
Yes, I'm pretty excited to actually share that as well. So thank you so much. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
so
Lee.
your presentation is ready. I'll leave you and I'll get back to you later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lee. So hi and hello and good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Is everyone still awake? I know that I'm the last speaker, so I hope that you guys are still alert, alive, and enthusiastic until the So again, my name is Candice, and we will be sharing with you today the top skills that employers are looking for. But of course, I know that some of you are curious what Sykes is or who Sykes is. So I am part of Sykes Asia. For some of you, it might be quite familiar because yes, we are actually a BPO company, and we are one of the pioneers in the industry, I would say. And with that, I know most of, if it's not often, right? People would always think, oh, it's BPO. I would need to have excellent communication skills and all that. But again, it is the same with all other companies, right? With all other industries that you would be want to be part of, they are looking for certain skills. Okay, and that is what I'm going to share with you today. But before that, I would like, of course, to give you a glimpse, right? I know that as now part of the new workforce, and we would like to, of course, have certain standards as well of what kind of company we would like to be part of. All right. And with that, I would like to give you just a short glimpse or a glance of how it is really to work, learn, and grow in Sykes.
I love our office. I look forward to seeing it every day. I like the culture. Why sites? Why sites?
Why sites? Why sites? Why sites? Why sites? I can give you a lot of reasons why you would love working at sites. Reason number one, we're the first.
When you join Sykes, you're not just joining any BPO provider. You actually become part of the company that started this industry. We are the first multinational business process management firm here in the Philippines, and we're also the first one to expand outside of Luzon. We are trailblazers. We encourage our people to think like innovators. At Sykes, we genuinely care about our people, our clients, and our stakeholders. We're looking for energetic talent who can really make a difference.
Why Sykes? Because we are a global leader. As a multinational company, we have more than 70 sites in North America, Europe, Africa, Latin America, and the Asia Pacific. We have more than 50,000 dedicated Sykes employees globally, and we speak 30 different languages.
Why Sykes? Because here in Sykes, you can choose the industry that's right for you. Sykes is a trusted partner of industry leaders in technology, finance, communications, healthcare, and consumer services. With the different verticals and industries we support, you can explore career options that would fit your background, your interest, and your education.
I am a tourism graduate, and when I joined Sykes Travel Account, I was able to apply what I learned in school, especially to giving outstanding customer service.
I took up engineering in college and I wanted to work with the big names in tech. Well, here in Sykes, I am able to do that as I provide support for one of the biggest tech brands in the world.
Why Sykes? Because I love working in an office that is built around my needs.
My favorite part of the office is the sleeping room. You can even charge your phone while sleeping.
My favorite is the pantry and the grab, scan, and go.
The gaming area.
Employee lounge. Mother's room.
Clinic.
Our workspace. Our workstations are spacious, and I love the splash of colors in our sites.
I like the fact that we have ATMs on all our sites, a payment kiosk where you can pay your bills anytime, and the charging stations.
Why Sykes? Because it gives you opportunities for career growth.
Here in Sykes, we put several training and leadership programs in place to help our employees grow their careers. We even have a study assistance program for those who wish to pursue further studies in their chosen field. We're also big on coaching and mentoring. We have trainings to help our leaders become better coaches, and we have mentorship program to help prepare leaders for bigger roles within the company.
Why Sykes? Because here in Sykes, our voice matters.
We have a global satisfaction survey. We have Voices, the annual town hall sessions with our senior leaders, and we also have Voices online.
Why Sykes? Because Sykes supports my passion and allows me to have work-life balance.
We have various company-funded interest clubs in Sykes under Sykes Choices for Manila and Sykes Involved in Cebu.
Through these programs, Sykes provides avenues for employees to pursue their interests and bond with fellow Sykesers who share their passion.
Why Sykes? Sykes puts our safety and convenience above all.
During natural disasters and other unforeseen circumstances, we activate our Disaster Awareness Response Program, or DARP. Employees staying within the Sykes facility are provided with necessary care. Depending on the situation, DARP kits and food may be distributed and transportation may be provided. Sleeping rooms and shower rooms are also available.
Why Sykes? Because Sykes cares not just for employees, but also for the community.
I look forward to volunteering to Sykes Cares activities like the Sykes GK Village or the different outreach programs.
My son is a Sykes scholar, and because of the financial assistance, we have one less thing to worry about.
We have fun parties.
The best if you ask me.
I love the food, the band, and of course, the prizes.
We also have celebrations with our families.
It is important to be with a company that knows how to reward its employees.
We can give you many more reasons why we think Sykes is great, but the best way to find out is for you to experience it yourself. Join Sykes. Work, learn, and grow with us.
Okay. I hope that excited you guys. It actually excited me again and wanted to apply again. I'm just kidding. But okay, of course, I know that you guys might be wondering, what are those basic requirements or qualifications that we are looking for? Because I know that most of you, if not some of you who are here today, are just about to start their next chapter as being part of the new workforce. And of course, maybe some of you are also just still in school and are looking to have part-time work or something similar to that. So basic qualifications that we are looking for would be at least a K-12 graduate, meaning that you have at least completed second year in college. And again, no BPO experience is required. So if you are a fresh grad, please feel free to apply. Then of course, you also have there the basic knowledge in computer usage and internet navigation, because as you know, this is how we get to communicate with our clients, right? And good oral and written communication skills is a must. And of course, for you to be able to communicate well in English, because that is how, or the language that we will be using when we actually talk to our clients. Okay? Now, aside from this, of course, I know that you might be wondering, what else do I need to have? Okay, and one of those would be your problem solving skills. And I know that you might be wondering, why? Why do I need to have problem solving skills? Because as you guys know, whether you are an entry level or a seasoned professional, you've probably had moments when you've had to resolve an issue, even in school, right? There is no such thing as like something is perfectly well executed. There will be instances when you would have to think off the bat, right? And we actually want to know, your employers would like to know how well you handle these situations. So our recommendations for you is for you to be able to share these experiences and showcase, okay, how well you do or how well you have your problem solving skills. Because it is not just important that you actually tell them, you would have to be able to communicate it with your interviewer. You have to be able to put it across on how well you actually handle these things. Because, okay, some of the things that will be required for you if you would actually be in any kind of industry is, again, thinking out of the box. How well you handle those conflicts, right? How are you going to resolve it? And of course, after you've resolved it, what will be the end result? So a tip that I have for you guys is, if you start doing your interviews as well, for you to be able to share this with your interviewers, is think of the STAR. So what is a STAR? Situation, task, your action, and your result. So situation, what is actually happening? What was the task at hand? What was the action that is required for you to do? And then what is the result? Because only if you will be able to showcase all of these things and be able to communicate it well with your interviewer, then they will have a good gauge of how well you do your problem solving. Okay, next up that we have is, okay, definitely there will be tools that you will be required to make use of. And I know that one of them would definitely be how proficient you are with Microsoft Office. This is not something that is just for psychs. This is something that is actually quite an expectation for most of the companies, even in school, right? You have been making use of PowerPoint, you've been making use of Word when you submit your reports and all that, because it is actually quite challenging now to look for a position where it will not require at least a knowledge or experience in Microsoft Office. Now, we're not requiring you to be an expert, but we would, of course, be hoping that you would know or at least have proficiency when it comes to these tools. Okay, so again, another tip is, instead of merely listing these skills on your resume, the way for you to be able to stand out is by ensuring that you get to outline them by saying how or when were those instances that you actually made use of these presentations. And again, this is your way for you to be able to let them know how you were able to use these tools. Okay. Next that we have on the list would be what do you think? Your employee commitment. Now, I know, especially for those of you who are still new and will be part of the workforce, commitment, guys, is something that your employers will be looking for. This is something that some people would downplay, that what they do is they just jump from one company to the next. But again, you have to remember that when you're starting your career, one of the things, that the skills that your employers are looking for when they hire is your capacity to lead, your leadership. And employee retention is actually one of the major priorities that your employers are looking for now, because what they want to do, okay, is actually just promote from within. I think you've heard it in the video earlier that 90% of our leadership would actually be from within, because we would want to be able to cultivate that skill and ensure that you are ready for those skills, and we would really want to hone it in a way that you will be an asset to the company. That's why we are really excited, and we have to ensure that we have those skills, okay, when it comes to, and be able to showcase those skills when we go to our interview. So one question here was, what was the skills provided by BPO companies again? So later on, I'll be talking to you more about that, and I will be sharing a little bit more aside from the things that I've already mentioned earlier. So earlier, just to recap, what are those things that we are looking for would be, number one would be how you problem solve. Okay. Now, if you are looking for the basic requirements that we have, again, at least a K-12 graduate, no BPO experience is required. Again, basic skill when it comes to computer usage and internet navigation. You need to have good oral and written communication skills. And again, this, of course, should be in the English language. Okay? All right. So moving on. Aside from being proficient with the Microsoft Office, being proficient in Microsoft skills, another thing that we have here would be your communication skills. And I know that this is the cliche when it comes to the BPO industry. Am I right? You'd always say that, oh no, I don't think I am cut off to, be part of the BPO industry. But again, when we talk about communication, it is regardless of what kind of industry that you're going to join, whether you are an entry level, what position it will be, your ability to communicate with others can define your success within your role. You always have to remember that, because communication isn't just about, being the fun person, being the loudest in the person, being the loudest person in the room, but what is important is, are you really getting your message across? Is it clear? Are you showing that you are invested in your colleagues' ideas, right? And how are we going to do this? You'll be able to do this by, of course, good body language is definitely one of them. You need to have a good eye contact with your interviewer. You can't be, looking around, because that is definitely be distracting, okay? When we say good body language, good posture is also one of them. Being able to sit up straight is one, because this is definitely, a way for you to tell your employer that, or your interviewer that, hey, I am interested, I am here, I'm present, and I'm very excited with what we are talking about. Okay, I think that we have a few questions, but maybe later on I'll have some time to answer that. Will that be okay with everyone? Is that cool? Okay, now, earlier I mentioned that with communication skills, you might be thinking that, I might not be cut out for it, right? Now, one thing that I'm very proud of with the Sykes is that we actually have what we call the Sykes Academy. Now, what is Sykes Academy? Sykes Academy is actually one of the teams that I'm leading in Sykes, and this is what we have for near hire applicant. So what does it mean when you are a near hire applicant? It means that, okay, you have the skills, you have the potential, okay, to be part of the company. However, when it comes to communication skills, you need a little help. Okay, and that is where Sykes Academy would come in. One thing that I'm proud of this one is that this is free, is free of charge. You're not going to be charged for it. And then the good thing about it is that once you actually graduate from Sykes Academy, then you will definitely be part of the roster that we can assess again to be deployed to the different accounts that we actually handle in Sykes. Okay, and another good thing about this is that this is something that is customized to you guys. You don't have to attend a training, sit there for the entire 2 weeks. Okay, oh, I already know how to do verbs, pronouns, and all that. Okay, what we'll do is we will give you an assessment to check how's your skill, which part do you actually need help with, and then from there we would give you certain topics that you can actually review, and then we will also be giving you coaching sessions with our trainers. There you go. So isn't that amazing? I know that not all companies do that, and that is why I am really so proud that we actually have this in Sykes. And with that, let me give you a glimpse of what we actually do in Sykes Academy.
Hey there, what's up guys? It's me, Nicole. Today we're going to shoot a short vlog to share to you my experiences in Sykes. I actually joined a training program called Sykes Academy. Sounds interesting? I'll tell you more about that in a bit, but let me just get ready first. See ya! Finally, we're here! While on my way, let me explain to you what Sykes Academy is all about. Sykes Academy is a 2-week free English training program. Yup, you got that right. It's free for aspiring contact center professionals like me. So for those who want to improve their English communication skills, this is a perfect program for you. You know what? You should come with me to the training room to have a better life. The training is about to start, so we have to keep quiet, okay? Hi! Guys, meet my trainer. Here at Sykes Academy, I get to train with the best in the industry. Right, Sir JP?
Of course. You're around.
Thanks. Now, off to my favorite part of the day, meal time! I have here my food stove, and I'm on my way to the pantry to get some food. Through the program, I learned how to professionally assist a customer and how to make a sale. When you are a top performer, you get a higher chance of getting in Sykes. I completed my first week in Sykes Academy, and today is the day of my assessment. Hope I pass the interview. From a Sykes Academy trainee, I am now an official Sykes employee. Want to be like me? Send your resume to learn at Sykes.com. Call us at 636-8555. Send us a message on Facebook or walk in at any of our recruitment hubs to apply. Work, learn, and grow with Sykes.
Okay, there you go, guys. So that is Sykes Academy for you. Let me just go ahead and answer some of the questions that you have here. So they're asking, is this available for home base or for on-site only? Now, the good thing about this is that this Sykes Academy can actually be done virtually. So that's the beauty about it. You can take it at your own convenience, at your own time. There is, like what I mentioned earlier, this is something that is out of the ordinary compared to what we currently have there in the market. This is something that is something different that we are offering for you guys. Now they're also asking if we are accepting internship. Yes, we are. If you can please send your resume at the Academe, that's ACADEME at Sykes.com. All right. Or you can also go to www.jobs180.com/Sykes for you to be able to check if there are any positions that you might be interested in. Okay. And again, guys, I know this is something that's very short, but I hope that I was able to give you or enlighten you with some of the questions that you may have had. And some questions that was not letting you sleep at night. So I hope that I was able to answer that. So again, top skills employers are looking for again would be how well will you solve your problems, your Microsoft Office proficiency, your employee commitment, and of course, your communication skills. So again, if you want to join Sykes, all you have to do is go to www.jobs180.com/Sykes, and you may also send your resume at the academe@sykes.com. Okay, so for Jobs 180 and University of Makati, again, thank you so much for allowing us to share here today and inviting us to be part of your event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Candice. And I've been really getting comments also about your presentation. They said, wow, really exciting, amazing. Let's try applying at Sykes Academy. We're so excited. And
looking forward to see you guys there.
yes, they've been sending comments like that in the chat box. And would like to also take this opportunity to again virtually give a certificate of appreciation to you. Let me just read the citation. Okay, so University of Makati again under Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Center for Linkages, Career Development and Placement awards a certificate of appreciation to Ms. Candice de la Cruz for sharing her knowledge and expertise as a resource speaker for her talk on top skills employers look for during the Virtual Internship Orientation 2021 with the theme, Preparing Yourself for the Job Market in the New Normal, held on the 16th day of February 2021 at the University of Makati, signed the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Elixir C. Ramos. So please accept our certificate of appreciation, Ms. Candice, and thank you so much for giving us an insight about Sykes. And I'm sure most of our interns are excited to try out the Sykes Academy that you've introduced to them, and also the internship program that you have or you offer in your. And I saw the comment that you're also a former partner of internship in the University of Makati. So we're looking forward to having more partners like this. Thank you.
Yes, please. See you guys there. Bye.
Thank you. So there you go. I hope you guys picked up a lot of information that can help you on your way to your internship. First of all, we discussed the guidelines on how you can prepare for your internship program in the University of Makati. Make sure to visit our website, click on extension and linkages, and then you will see there the page of CLCDP. And click on the link, and then you'll see more details about CLCDP, and all the forms and the guidelines will be there as well. So make sure you visit the page of umac.edu.ph and know more about the details about your orientation or your OJT or internship. And of course, we will also have the evaluation link that will be posted later on. There you go. So that make sure you fill it out with all the comments or the or your evaluation for the event today. Hopefully we'll get more feedback that will help us improve or give us more information on what you need for our next event. And that will also be your qualification to get the certificate for the internship orientation. So make sure you fill it out. It will only be available until what was that? Until I think on February 25. So make sure you fill it out because the link will be closed on after February 25. So February 16 to February 25. The link will be available on our UMAK page. So you will not be able to access the link anymore once we're done. So 10 days only. You will be given 10 days to answer the evaluation. So, of course, thank you to all our speakers. Again, Ma'am Cynthia, our Director for CLCDP, our University Secretary, Engineer Moro, Sir Kim Chua of Jobs180.com, and Sir Paulo de la Cuesta from PSG, and Miss Candice de la Cruz from Sykes Academy or Sykes Asia. So thank you for all of them. And now for our closing remarks, or to give us a closing remarks, may we call on our Vice President Vice President for Student Services and Community Development, Professor Virgilio B. Tabu. Right?
Hey, good
Hello,
afternoon.
sir. Good afternoon.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Magandang hapon
Thank
po
you.
sa lahat. I'd like to express on behalf of the management our gratitude to all our speakers, no, for sharing their time and expertise, no, in this great exercise of preparing our students to engage in the real world. I'd like also to pay compliment to this initiative that the office of Ma'am Cynthia Jose has organized and conducted. I think it is a tribute to the foresight that the Center for Linkages, um, Career Development and Placement has initiated, realizing that there is today almost 1 year since this pandemic has regulated our routine. No, there is a dramatic need of few student interns, no, to understand the full implication of what this new landscape of apprenticeship or on-the-job training program. And to realize, kasi baka abutin pa ng isang taon, no, before OJT program finally go back to normal. I know that the pandemic has left some of you struggling to address the concerns and your anxieties about OJT. And so I think Director Cynthia has designed this virtual orientation as one of your parang learning exercises, no, that can be best done and best learned at home virtually. Okay? You know, our dear OJT interns, jobs as we know them today are changing constantly. Okay? And so, competencies that we know them today must also change. No, you do not only have to prepare for jobs that are available today, no, but you must also prepare to deliver the next kind or the next trend of jobs that will be emerging in the near future. Okay, today I think the biggest threat of the BPO industry in the Philippines is not actually China or India or Malaysia. Okay, the biggest threat of the BPO industry today is in the Philippines, no, is I think technology. Okay, technology. Why? Because human beings or call center agents, no, are now being replaced by artificially intelligent computers, and that means we have to evolve. Okay, we have to evolve a new set of workers that are aligned for these jobs, no, that even now kahit sa panahon natin ngayon, no, the competencies don't exist yet or papalabas pa lang, no, as far as I know. Okay, in as much as we want to send you out to our industry partners or mga potential employers natin, the pandemic does not warrant you, no, a real apprenticeship for today, no. But despite of this, I think you are the kind of citizens today who are very powerful citizens in terms of the use of digital technology. And so we need to train you, no, to be responsible with this power that you have, no, sa panahon nyo ngayon, no. And if you take a look at what we've been trying to do for the past several years, no, na kasama natin ang ating former president, Professor Lopez, we've been trying to do that, no, we've been trying to do that. At sinasabi lagi sa atin ni Prof. Lopez na we break the walls, no, we break the walls that separates academe and the real world. Gusto natin seamless ang ating education. Kasi pag kayo ay nagtatrabaho, kayo ay nag-aaral din. Pag kayo ay nag-aaral, kayo nagtatrabaho, no? Kasi sa totoo lang, mas marami kayong matututunan habang kayo'y nagtatrabaho kaysa habang kayo'y nag-aaral. Tama? Kasi sinasabi natin, yung natututunan mo sa trabaho, dapat mas mahalaga sa natututunan mo sa eskwela. Kailangan mas mabigat yung timbang, no, academically, yung natutunan mo sa trabaho, kaysa natutunan mo sa eskwela. And so, therefore, we must find a way of capturing and giving academic value to what you learn in your OJT or at work. Okay? May you find the opportunity in your OJT program to tell us what we miss doing in the curriculum, no? It's you actually, no, OJT interns or OJT students. Okay? Aside from our alumni, it's you actually who are the best people to provide us feedback and define the skills and competencies that we need to enhance in our curriculum, because the test of education is employability, no? And of course, for us also to reach out, no, with our industry partners to help us define, no, the curriculum. Okay? And so it is all, I think, about your ability to cope up with this new challenge of education. Okay? This pandemic is the most, shall we say, the most disruptive educational reform, no, in our lifetime. And this disruption will lead to a change in the landscape of education. Okay? So here is the chance, no? Here is the chance to redefine our student OJT development programs and services. Just to let you know, I attended the CHED National Public Consultation on the guidelines, no, in the implementation of that flexible delivery, no, of student affairs during COVID-19 pandemic. And I think up to now, wala pa silang pinapalabas na guidelines on the conduct of OJT. Okay? Alam ni Ma'am Cynthia yan. For now, let us not look at the lack of concreteness in the regulation as a problem. Okay? Let us look at it as an opportunity to try new things, no, that have not been done before. Because I think the education sector is ripe with opportunities and examples and best practices of how education can be delivered differently and more effectively in the 21st century. And so, do not stop, no? Do not stop daring to ask difficult questions, my dear OJT students, no? Let us be brave to change the rules and to change the game, because education needs the innovation so that you are better prepared for tomorrow. Alam nyo, the success or failure of your studies ay hindi na dependent sa eskwela at hindi na rin sa mga guro lamang, kundi sa inyo ring pagsisikap, no, na matuto. Also, no, please find opportunity, no, in allowing your parents, your siblings to be facilitators of learning. Okay? For exercises in the pursuit of integrating a seamless learning environment. And I think this must be their way, no? Their way, no? Your parents, your siblings, it must be their way of performing their duty as parents or as siblings in these trying times, no, of the pandemic. Because the most successful education system in the world are those that integrate school with the other parts of the society, and that's your family. Okay? So, good luck, my dear OJT students. Have a fruitful but safe OJT. Again, good afternoon at mabuhay kayo. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Sir Hill, Tabu Vicky Hill, our very much loved Vice President. Kasi nga, yung mga students po, sir, they remember you kahit na nung nasa DCNB ka pa. So marami talaga pong nagmamahal na mga students sa inyo. Thank you for that wonderful closing remarks. And thank you for everyone who participated in our virtual orientation of Internship Program 2021. And see you again next event. Thank you. See you again. Oh, okay. For those who are clicking on the evaluation link posted earlier, just reload so that you can see the select others on the option so that you can put in your evaluation because your courses may not be available on the tabs. So just select others and then reload the evaluation link. Thank you. Bye.